Be on, Johnny. Time for you to spill your stuff, man.
What up? What up?
You
What
know
up?
what it
Hey,
is.
hey, hold on. Wait a minute. Let me do the intro first, my God. God, damn. Let's,
Could be hot to the
let's,
mall,
let's get the intro first. I want to say welcome back to the To Be Fair show.
Hey,
I am your host, Johnny P.
Oh, here, real.
it's you.
And we back. Before we get too far into it, I want to thank y'all for being here. I want to say please hit the notification button, hit the subscribe button, like, comment, follow us on all platforms. We on Facebook, we on TikTok, we on Instagram, and we on Threads. It's at the To Be Fair show. Let's get it.
Huh?
Will we
Right there. Oh, I guess yes.
rock paper? Let's rock paper it up.
Whoop Johnny ass again.
Let's get it.
Got him about it.
Get him out of there easy. That's easy money, Johnny. Every week. Easy money.
Hey, you got a little roll going on.
Easy
You
money.
got a little roll going on.
Man, tell y'all, bro. I'm here for this,
Man,
bro.
this man turned up today.
I'm turned today, bro. I feel good. You see, you know what I mean? I feel good, bro. I'm getting some things checked off the list.
Yeah, your
Let's
mom
go.
checked off the list.
Let's go. Matter of fact, you know what, Johnny? I'm gonna let you go first today, brother.
Let's do it. Yeah.
I'm gonna let you go first, then I'm gonna go, and we're gonna put Q last today.
All right. Let's get that. Scroll down.
Don't forget that though.
I got you. I remember.
You ain't gonna win. I was just joking.
Oh, shit, nigga, I just won 4 weeks in a row.
This nigga added a whole
I
other
just
week.
won
He
4
added
weeks.
2
Just
extra
won
weeks
4 weeks in a row. What you mean?
All right, bro.
Hey, let me get a third one down in the middle. It's Orlando Brown. I think this is a good one to
It's
start.
from this last interview that he just did.
Yeah, I think it's the last.
If I'm Jesus, I would think I did.
Okay.
Let me start it up.
You created the Illuminati.
If I'm Jesus, I would think I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, tell us about it a little bit then.
Well, not my place to. You guys know exactly. I mean, well, I'll give you this. It's like Diddy. You know Diddy?
Did he?
One of my best friends.
Okay.
Right? Okay. So when you want to be a Kappa and you get hazed, didn't you want to be a Kappa? You wanted to be a Kappa, right?
I want to be a Kappa.
No, I'm just saying. To the person that wanted to be a Kappa.
Oh, okay.
You want to be Kappa. You want to be Alpha, whatever the fuck it is. Okay? We're going to haze you and haze you and haze you until you are a Kappa. That's what happened. People sold their souls to Diddy. And then they're mad now because the hazing process was a little bit rougher than they thought. You can't be a king. Why do you think I love Diddy so much? You're not going to dethrone this man because he know how to get you there. By way of hazing you, I call it haze.
He said they call it.
And we're going to still do this. We're going to still do this. It's not going to stop. Take that. It's still going to happen. The got 3 million and we're still waking up in the morning, drinking cognac, screaming, bad boy, bad boy. And it won't stop. And it can't stop. And it's not going to stop. You thought just because you got 3 million, you changed it? Take care of what you need to take care of. You glad that you got away with 3 million. Be happy. No, don't you stop me. Be happy you got away with 3 million. I don't give a what you told the cameras. You wanted to be Illuminati. You wanted the big cars and you wanted to get pimped for it. So don't blame him for giving you what you asked for. Because he's still going to be Diddy at the end of the day. It's called hazing. Stop playing with yourself. Stop playing with your life and trying to take down that you have no kind of mind or even no kind of heart to build. Revolt, that's bad boy. Shut your ass up and stop trying to fuck up our money.
That's it right there.
Okay.
He said, "Shut up and stop trying to mess up our money." Yeah, that's what it is right there, and that's why niggas like that don't ever fall, because it's people like him that's going. There's too many people that's already with it. That's greedy enough that'll do the shit for the money, and that's why this shit continues to happen. Because, like he said, people have sold their souls out. There's people that don't care about morals, religion, none of that stuff. The almighty dollar is what run this country. And people that do a lot of nasty, dirty things for dollars.
Absolutely.
And people like Diddy, the island, a lot of these things that happen, they're just a result or a symptom of a country that values the almighty dollar so much.
I'd agree with that.
And so I think he's crazy. I don't agree with a lot of what he said, but in some of the craziness, I think there's a slight bit of truth in what he was saying. In some of the craziness. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. He's funny, take that. Man, I'm like, I think he's hilarious.
Yeah, somebody was getting plied and everything. He was doing a lot of that. I don't know how I feel about that one. Go ahead, Q. You got anything?
I don't know what like conversation you was trying to have around it. That's what I'm saying. Like, what's your prompt? What are we like specifically responding to?
Well, I was saying,
is it like the whole thing that he said that if you want it to be Illuminati, you can't get mad at the hazing process? Or I don't know. Like, so like it was like 3 minutes and he went a bunch of spots.
Well, I think just right there at the end is where the part that got me is don't try to stop our money. He was like,
I think that don't mean anything at all.
To me, that's just
no. I get what you're saying.
He's saying, look, you was trying to get the money and you knew who he was, and now like you opting out, but don't try to mess it up for us because we still trying to get that money.
Yeah, it's to me, it's the same idea I've been saying, like the being for sale.
Yeah.
Us
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you for sale. And if you for sale, bad things are gonna happen. If we a society that's always for sale.
So y'all think that Orlando Brown is getting Diddy money?
Absolutely not. What do you mean?
Oh, so we're taking it out of it being true of him saying it and just the concept.
Right.
Yeah,
that's what
not him. Yeah,
he was saying, or at least that's what I got from what Johnny was saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we ain't talking about him.
And we're also not like speaking towards any concept, but just the general idea of people doing things detrimental for money. Is that what we're at?
Right. Yeah, people selling them souls basically for money and doing stuff that you don't necessarily agree with for $1. It happens. It happens a lot.
Doing that.
It happens a lot. So
y'all think TD Jakes was getting hazed?
Nah, he probably was like Big Brother. Big Brother passed the man, sir. Pause. He probably was the one swinging the wood.
And yeah, let me go to one beside that too.
Talking about my boy right here.
Yeah, I think this is a decent one.
Ironically enough, I got one.
What y'all building all these bunkers for? Hey, look at this. Jeffrey Epstein and these people he went to jail with. Yeah, I seen that, but I don't want to talk about that. What y'all building these bunkers for? Goddamn, just because I'm rich and got money and got power, I gotta have a reason to build a fucking bunker underground with everything in it to live for a long time with me and my people? Hell yeah. Okay, look, man, look, I'll tell you why we're building the bunkers, if it helps. We're building the bunkers because everything's perfectly fine. There's nothing to worry about. Bitch, stop talking to me in fucking PR. What y'all protecting y'allself from? Is this something we, the public, need to be worried about? Hey, look at this, bro. Katt Williams been tripping lately. Did you see the interview? Why y'all building these fucking bunkers? Look, I heard it was some aliens at the mall in Florida. Why y'all building these fucking bunkers? Bill Clinton was on the Jerry Epstein list, man. Did you see that? Why y'all building these fucking bunkers? Why the fuck you need to know, huh? You gonna build one? I might, but you ain't. So worry about shit that you prepared to worry about. What, is this something happening that I can't prepare for? I said too much. Fuck you. What y'all building all these bunkers for?
Can somebody, I guess, tap me into, like, I know that the Hasidic Jews, they were building tunnels underground in New York. And because of some level of construction, they ended up being found out. And, like, it was a big thing. What are the conspiracies that are surrounding it? Like, what are the questions? I know that it was like connected to a bunch of different things.
But I think it was Mark Zuckerberg was building one also.
Yeah, they said I read
recently.
something that was like a whole bunch of billionaires was building them like in a short amount of time. It was a whole bunch of billionaires building.
It's like a prep, like the doomsday prepper type wave. Yeah. It's like getting a lot of investment from billionaires over the last
this was like
couple years.
Oh, relating to the tunnels? Nah.
Yeah, I thought it. Well, I heard some people speak about.
I just heard about them
that deal with like what is it, the University of Miami and human trafficking and shit like that.
Nah, I wouldn't go talk about football.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
Them hurricanes.
Yeah, this ain't had nothing to do with them today.
Okay,
But-
so y'all just talking about doomsday prep.
Or just the fact that it's so much interest in it from billionaires at this point. And like
That's
those,
what that Obama movie was about.
but those these are the people who have like a Wall Street guy who's made billions of dollars in Wall Street. He's pretty smart. He knows a lot. Like he's been pretty good at predicting trends when it comes to stocks and being able to make money. A guy like Mark Zuckerberg, he's shown forethought of, oh, this is going to be good for people. And if those are the same people that are now like, let me start building bunkers and preparing for something else that's going to happen, I think those are, you might want to pay attention.
You know the funny thing.
You
you
might
know
want
the
to pay
funny thing?
attention.
I think that one thing that he said in there was one of the things that I was thinking. Like, okay, even if you like, somebody was to show me like the, oh, did you know such and such building a bunker? And my whole thing. So, you gonna build one, or are you going to be forced to deal with the cards that are dealt as they lay, just like everybody else? What good is you knowing that niggas is building bunkers gonna do for you?
Well,
What you gonna get you some extra canned sardines?
Well, I'm saying if you know why they're building the bunker, you can start preparing. But if you don't know why they're building the bunker, you don't.
Right. So what is if what they're building it for requires a bunker? What are you gonna do if shit hit the fan? If it requires a bunker, which it seemingly does, because that's what they building them.
I'm gonna come up to the 2B Fair show and see how many shovels we got, and see what we can do.
I don't
But
think
like,
there's much you can do.
so we just gonna take an L. Like,
My thing is, I think that that's gonna be the L's gonna be taken if said thing does happen.
there's
The
nothing.
L's gonna be taken.
There's nothing we can do.
Hey, get you some extra canned food.
So you wouldn't want to know. Like,
No, fuck that. I'm gonna go. My thing is, I'm gonna prep my family for everything that's already around here. So I protected my family. You know what I mean, as far as weaponry and food, I already do that part. So other than that, what I can't build a bunker. What the fuck I'm gonna do? I can get some extra cans.
so you saying if it's that bad, it's fuck it. It ain't
Bro,
nothing
what we
can
gonna
do.
do? What you going?
Okay, all right.
Let me, Johnny.
I'm
What
just-
would
what-
you do?
I don't know. That's why, like, I don't know what I would do. But
So-
I'm saying I would like to know. I would like
So
to know
that you
so I
can
can
do
come
what?
up with a plan. I would like to know.
Okay, so look, the zombie apocalypse coming. That's what the truth is. What you gonna
They
do?
walking down Albemarle right now.
No. They ain't even walking down mall just yet. We know within 60 days, these some bitches gonna start walking around here. What you gonna do?
If I know in 60 days it's gonna be zombies right here,
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna leave. I'm probably not gonna wait for them.
I'm saying,
I'm probably not like I'll do something. I'm not gonna sit there.
you already got your passport?
I'm gonna just not yet.
So you know how long it takes?
Fuck that. If the zombies are coming, I'll
Well,
get on a boat. You think them?
So-
you think people a passport ain't got to keep you from leaving?
Okay, so at the end of the day, you think that whatever the bunker is gonna be used for, whatever requires a bunker, you think you're gonna get on the boat and that's what do you think? Where you gonna go?
I don't know what I do, but I'd rather do something than just sit there and let it happen.
Okay.
Like, I mean, if I'd like to know if something's gonna happen.
Right.
Like,
I think the easy answer to it, what Jeremy answered me would have been, I would buy things that would fortify my house. I would get ammunition to where I can, and food to where I can survive as long as possible.
Hmm.
That would be what my answer would be to it. I don't know
Yeah.
what you was like answering. You just saying. So if the zombie apocalypse is happening, they probably happening over in that other country too.
It's
Like
not
just
the-
running away probably ain't gonna
It's
answer.
not the answer.
Like the most that you could possibly do to me would be, yeah, just get ammunition, get all the different little things. If you know how they die easy, maybe you do that, and it becomes like basic survival for as long as
You
possible.
know the answer? Because you can survive for as long, and hopefully you can get as many sardines as you can to last for however long this takes. Better pray. Better get right with God. You might want to do that. That's probably the best answer. Because hey, if it's over with, then hey, that's about it.
I mean, all right, okay. So, but you don't want to know though, so you wouldn't.
Oh
do
no,
nothing.
I don't want to know, bro.
You wouldn't
I
do
pray.
nothing.
I pray anyway.
You wouldn't do nothing. So
I try to.
I
get
like
me.
Quint's answer, but like I say, I don't necessarily I don't have a plan right now about what I would do. Like I ain't sat down and wrote it out, but maybe something to look into.
But
Y'all
yeah,
don't-
I would
y'all
want to
don't
know.
be thinking about that.
Yeah.
Like
Thinking about
y'all
what?
don't know, like what you would do if like okay, like the other week the lights went out like this week, and I was sitting there like thinking about like okay, if the lights went out, if all the power went out, like what would I do? I wouldn't be prepared for no like big emergency, right?
You know the crazy thing when you say that? You know the one thing that like after watching like whatever that thing, Walking Dead and all that stuff coming, I was like, you know, would I have what it would take to make a necessary like to end misery, or would I watch zombies tear my kids apart, or would I watch zombies? You know what I mean?
You say that again?
Would I have the mindset to be willing to like to end our lives before we have to be
Killed.
not even just killed, but
Turned to zombie.
not even just that, but like you see how those people died on there, eaten alive.
I ain't never really watched.
So,
So you saying would you rather
torture?
Would you rather do it?
Yeah, like
than-
just for
than-
us, we come and then
You
we
talking about
sit
like in
and-
advance?
I'm talking about like it's happening, like the door's coming down, like it's shit is.
Oh
by,
yeah,
it's
I
over
think
with.
that if it comes down to like there's no case scenario, that's like what is it? Like a lot of soldiers or like just different like people like they have like that emergency cyanide pill or the little you know what I mean bullet or whatever that's going to kind of be the in which you probably got to keep how many of y'all it is if you know it's no like y'all y'all inside the back corner right there all the things is coming down and they all coming in
They got dark real quick.
No,
that's pretty dark. But it's like I think like maybe every man got that in the like it's something we don't talk about. But if it was necessary, I think every man would probably have.
I don't think every man got it.
No, every man wouldn't do it. Not everybody would do it.
Yeah, that's right.
Not everybody.
Zombies eat them. Nah,
I ain't never thought about it. Yeah.
Ain't everybody wouldn't do it. Hey, click that one right there with
something
a homeboy.
with some legs, Johnny. Something with some legs.
No, I ain't got that. That's about the only other.
Johnny on minute 15.
Yeah, which one you said?
That one right there, and then I'll end it. Cause I think
about with Umar.
Yeah, and then we'll get on. Now go to the next one. It's no slide. It's two slides.
What does that say though?
Mom ain't want to see me with the white like Dr. Umar. I guess that's a bar.
Yes.
But like they took my legs when them people told my robo pot really did damage. I had to do some planning. I was sleeping on the couch. I should have told that to Atlantic. That's why I'm going too hard. Everybody moved on. Mama kept me focused. She didn't want to see me do wrong. And she didn't want to see me with the white like Dr. Umar. Instead I lost my hunger, I'm starving again. Look, Papa killed something like Marvin again. Back. Bars hurt your jukebox like Marvin again. Back. It's your Barbie, but I'm black. I look nothing like that. Right. She gonna FaceTime Ryan, playing with her toy things. Let me get in person. She showed me Justin LeBoy memes. I ain't trying to see that. My bro wanna crack necks. I gotta give him feedback. Flex, could you believe that? My mother asked me if I love her daughter. I let her whip it in the winter. When it's hot, she'll be a summer walker. But I gotta do to show y'all I'm here to stay. You gang, we don't claim you. The baby, Penny Lake, New York. But like they took my legs.
Yeah. I'm sure if I didn't know that bar was coming, it would hit harder.
Yeah.
But he placed enough of them later on to where he got it.
What's brother name?
I don't even know. I just saw the Umar. I just saw the Umar bar. I think that's a good setup for later. So.
Yeah, Young or Pop. I don't know, Young Pop. All right, who up next?
I'm up next, bro. Where I'm at? Bro, you can just go to either of the latest ones. I will probably be almost stuck.
When it comes to the household, if my baby father was on child support and let's say he gave me $500, here's money for child support, and I used that $500 and I bought a wig. No,
absolutely.
Listen
not.
to what I'm saying. Listen to what. If I am in the household with this child 7 days a week, taking care of everything, paying the bills, your $500. If I use it to buy a wig, you think my child's not gonna be taken care of though? Maybe I'm paying myself back. Is what I'm trying to say.
It's called child support, not wig support.
Child support is when it comes to the household. If my baby.
Oh yeah, that was kind of. It's funny listening to like when you start listening to me. What made me think that this was like a conversation is because more and more and more I come to hate the design of said system, because it's almost like it's. I only know Q about the only dude that I know, period, that's not on child support who's separated from their baby mom. I couldn't think of another dude in my entire life.
I know a couple.
I don't think Jeff is
I
on
don't
child
know.
support.
Okay, that's two.
I work with I work with a dude that got two
That's
of them.
three.
Yeah.
And we all don't collectively know these, but we know plenty of dudes who have kids that aren't with their baby mom. And to think of it, and then especially with the case, what was it in Kent? Was it Kent? The case that pretty much let them know that they actually had to tell it was the girl, it was like 5 moms were suing the child.
Here's 4 shows your kid should stop watching right now. Don't worry, we're not gonna leave you hanging. I'm gonna give you 4 alternatives as well. Number 1, your kid's gotta stop watching Peppa. She's a bully, she mistreats her family, she fat shames. You gotta get rid of Peppa. Instead, you gotta get your kids on Stillwater. It is
all of the money. I don't know which way it went, but they pretty much they had to say, they came out and said that it's not for the benefit of the children, nor is it for the benefit of the parent that has the children. It's literally just a benefit for the state.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like that system at large.
How much money is in your guys' bank account?
I got like 1,200.
All these things, even the way it's drawn out at our age, like, and then like seeing a lot of my guys like be affected in it at this age, it's like, damn, that whole system, like, to me, needs to be revamped. Especially if we talk about equality and all of this. These are things that were implemented years past. So we're talking about all this modern this and modern that. We need to go back and kind of reassess a lot of these these laws and things that have been in place for quite some time.
No, I'll definitely say this. If it's a system where the state's making the man pay, but then they're not giving all the money to the mom, because the state take the money, like it come right out your check,
right,
and stuff. So it's not like it's going.
Because I told you last night, don't be fucking smoking if you ain't got my fucking money. I told you that shit last night, right?
Account to the state, and then the state's responsible for giving it back to the mom. We don't know if they're giving all of it back or like how much. Like you said, they're suing because the state took that money and put it in their pocket, and
see, this is the idea,
and that's wrong, and that's not, like you said, that's not for the benefit of nobody. That's just a system that's designed to profit off of.
Well, I mean, I think it's like 70 cents on a dollar. The state makes like 70 cents per dollar that is taken from the father or the individual who's on support. The state gets that from the federal government. The federal government pays, so they're incentivized. So based on that case, I didn't do a whole deep dive into it. But my understanding, the fathers weren't paying it. So essentially, once they catch up with you, either you're gonna go and sit down for X amount of time, or you have a means to provide this money. And so what it was the money that they owed the, like, quote unquote, the mothers, which of course the state had already paid it. So they owed it back to the state plus interest. So it was like the amount that the state was asking for was more than what the support would have been just if it had been just the children alone. You see what I'm saying?
But they already paid the mom.
The state paid the mom because the federal gave it to the state. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, so I didn't know it worked like that. I thought if the dude didn't pay, the mom didn't get it.
So, like, I mean, she gets these supplemented resources. So the more, so in my and from my understanding, that like the more that you give, she can't get everything that you give and get all of the resources. They base it on a standard of living. So, like, if you, like, I've seen my mom work either way. Some in certain states like Indiana, you may have to give up your car to be able to get certain benefits, because they'll say that you have too much of a foundation. Like, you got to be more fucked up for us to help you to the extent that we can.
Oh, that's stupid.
So like you giving, let's say that you giving $800 a month, that like if you don't go to court and everything, they're gonna say it's like $790 something that you're gonna have to pay. If you don't go to court and show them all these different and then you make decent bread, they'll just hit you with the whole book. But if you did pay said amount, they're not gonna say that she can get that money and give her all of the resources that she would get if you couldn't afford to support her in that way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that sounds like a hustle, bro.
Oh, it's definitely a hustle.
That sounds crazy.
It's a state hustle, so that's what I'm saying. Like, we need to. That's one of those systems that we need to really
that
like.
Sound crazy.
We got a comment. Says you don't know how much money she's getting. It's rare that a woman gets 500.
Well, and I have heard circumstances where even like month to month, like a woman saying like, I didn't get my whole check. I was getting this month. I didn't get my whole check, and the guy that I know, he would just make up the difference. Not even ask no questions. Just
that's crazy. I don't know. I don't know.
When it comes to a household, if my baby,
better way, we too smart as a people. We got people going to the moon. Like we got so much technology not to have search systems in place for shit like child support.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, I guess if I was to give, I'll speak more to just child support in general, um, and the reform that if it's to get reformed, what I think that reform should probably look like. So I do think that there is a space where child support is and like does make sense. If you are a guy that aren't, or whoever's the primary parent, and you have primary custody, and the kid is with you, and you have no support from the other person, like they're not doing any of the things, I do think that there's a space where it makes sense to be on child support. What I think that child support should be is audited though, where the support is actually going towards the kid or resources that the kid uses, whether that's like whether you put it towards your mortgage or the bills or the lights or whatever, or like the kids' clothes or whatever. I don't really believe in what that was saying, like wig and shit like that.
Wig
I
support.
think that that's its own thing in supporting the mother. It's not like mother support; it's child support. And I think that those things should be deducted, whether it ends up coming out of like your tax check or like your pay. But I think misusage of child support money should be audited, and I think that. Go ahead.
It's to me, and I've thought about like different. It's going to be so hard to do because if you think about it, like let's say,
Not if it's itemized.
but what I'm saying is that like just my standard of living. Let's say I'm not, of course, I'm not a woman. I'm just saying. Let's say I live in a place that costs X amount of dollars. So then, what is the piece that you should contribute to? What is that? You know what I mean? What my standard of living is, or
I think
is it
that
just a base amount?
I think
And
that
it's not based
it's
on how
usually-
much you make. You see what I'm saying? It's so many variables in the
Well,
way.
I mean,
that we
I
approach.
believe that I would say, however they decide the payment in general, like doesn't it right now kind of take into consideration a lot of those variables?
What do you? Oh, I didn't
Like
say
the
consideration.
the amount that a man has to pay the woman.
Oh,
It takes in multiple variables to get
so
to that now.
until you get to the courthouse, right? So I haven't talked to anybody that's actually went down and like was able to prove their point. I think that you can take in like bills and stuff, but I haven't got anybody that gotten. I don't know anybody who's gone that far. But I will say that the way it is how many nights a week the kid sleeps at your house,
Yeah.
and then what is it? How many nights a week, and then how much money you make.
Right.
Those are the two variables that I know of. It's not so
Yeah, I
much
think
of
that
like
those are-
what her living style or anything like that.
So a lot to me like that. That's kind of I don't know. That's kind of it though. You were saying how much how would you break down the things for her?
No.
And what is going towards for her? What you mean?
No. I thought you were saying in the revamping. I thought you were saying that if she has them all the time, it could go into like her mortgage and. But the thing is, her mortgage costs would change, or her rent changes based on the standard of living that she feels she should have. But if there's a flat rate for what a child, you know what I mean?
But those are mother choices, where like what the guy is giving. To me, the way I look at it is that there should be like certain things that it is acceptable for the money to go towards.
Right.
Whether she wants to live in a project or live inside a penthouse, like the money, how X amount of money can go towards these specific things, but does not include these specific things.
Right.
Like you getting the Birkin bag shouldn't be something that you can write off with your child support check, but groceries should be
right,
or mortgage. Like that's what I'm saying.
So pretty much like the idea of like that digital currency, them giving the payment out in digital currency in which it can be tracked in that cash and can only be spent like food stamp. It can only be spent in certain areas. This account here houses this money.
Well,
that
I mean,
would be
like,
the only way to really track it.
That'd be the most. That'd be the most efficient way to do it.
Yeah, but I say that if you just audit, like people,
I mean, niggas get away with tax fraud for years,
and it's a lot of niggas that go to jail for tax fraud.
Yeah, but it's more to get away than go to jail.
Gotcha. Like if you can figure it out, like to me, if I think that reforming the system, there's always going to be people that can find the loophole in the system. But yeah, I guess we can kind of leave it at that.
We got another comment.
How you gonna audit a person when you don't know how much they are receiving?
Oh yeah, that's what the courts do.
Well, if you were, but like all those things would be tracked through the government. Like the guy is being, like he's being deducted out of his check, so you can like all of this would be between the government, the man, and the woman. So everybody kind of would know how much is getting taken and received. To be honest, I don't think that it'd be like that.
Yeah, one of them rough ones, but let's move on. Just click another one, brother.
All right.
There's nothing wrong with supporting Black business. It's just not going to solve the problem of poverty and inequality and wealth. I try to deal with this a little bit. I mean, but the short version is Black businesses target Black people. Black people don't have any money. From 1992 to 2012, Black people created 2 million plus businesses and the capture of the national sales revenue went down from a paltry 1% to like 0.3%. The point is that Black people can't create businesses in the sectors of the economy that generate real wealth. Black businesses don't have enough to hire many people. They don't have benefits. They're not paying people. In fact, most Black businesses pay people below the average national salary. And again, because and we see it all the time. This is why, and people get mad when they see these people, they get to a certain size and then they sell out, or they sell to the white business that buys them up. Well, that's ultimately what you want in the capitalist economy. That's the goal, to get big enough to a bigger, because you can't expand.
It's not that supporting Black business is wrong, right? If I want to buy a cookie or a chocolate or a candle, sure, I prefer if I can support a business run by my people. I think the danger, as you say in your book and in your work, is believing that that's our path to Black liberation, right? Like we can't buy Black our way to freedom. Which is part of the danger of this propaganda.
There's nothing wrong with supporting Black business.
Yeah, so that was actually, you remember when I was talking about last week when we had Bia on, talking about the percentage of the decrease in how much funds we actually generated with all of the influx of the Black business, the entrepreneurial spirit. And I love the entrepreneurial spirit, you know what I mean? But the thing that I like to see is, bro, and so, I'm living around a lot of Hispanics, right? Bro, they just murdering the game. If you just be honest, bro, the Hispanics are just murdering the game. So where we park, or my business, where we park our trucks, that an Hispanic just bought like 8 cement trucks. So these cement trucks, it's like what he's talking about, something that'll actually generate real wealth. You talking about like that? I think that we I don't know if it's because we have our ceiling a little lower than it should be. That it's like we're the things that, well, I mean, I know I can't just go and invest in a cement truck and then a fleet of cement trucks, but I think that it starts at a certain place, because like where did they get the money to just invest in cement trucks and shit?
Well,
it ain't like they came, no cartel niggas came over here with no whole bunch of
they grinded. They
are grinding, and it's community based. So he didn't just buy it. He ain't buy it himself. It was him and 2 other guys they came into a partnership and they bought these trucks. And you talking about million? That's gonna be at the end of the day at least $1 million a year.
But I think it's about, like you said, when you talk about not just in Hispanic, but a lot of immigrant groups and starting businesses, and it's not just about starting a business. It's about, and I think I said it last week, about diversification. It's like, if we want to have a truly Black community, you're gonna have to have Black doctors, Black lawyers, Black electricians, Black mechanics. Like, there should be, for every sector out there should be a Black-owned business. And if all we focus on is just these 2 or 3 sectors, and everybody that wants to start a business starts a business in this sector, it's gonna get oversaturated. It's gonna be too much competition. It's not, the pie ain't big enough to go around. But a lot of Black people, we just focus in on certain sectors instead of trying to diversify and looking Black businesses in every sector. I think that's the more effective way to do it. We shouldn't have 1 million Black businesses. If we had 1,000 Black businesses, but they was in, each one of them was in different sectors, I think that would be way better for us as a whole, as a unit. So I think that's the bigger thing, is we have to focus on diversification and supporting businesses that are venturing out into new sectors and supporting those Black businesses.
I think the problem with Black businesses, we're like kind of the only ones that have our so-called race in front of our name. Like, you don't, even when you go into the Chinese restaurant, you're not sitting there necessarily saying Chinese business. You're just going to the restaurant, or you go into Sally's. You don't, like Sally's beauty shop, for instance. Don't nobody think about who owns that. They just go in the store. Black businesses,
right?
It's like, as soon as you say, "Yeah, we're a Black business," I kind of think you're targeting yourself to a degree.
But that's part of diversification too. It's like, you can't.
And that's a interesting point, because it's almost like you say black business to garner support,
Mm-hmm.
but then it's almost like local rapper.
But it puts
I think we
it
kind of
puts a
put
ceiling
it
on it.
exactly.
It
It
puts a
makes it
ceiling
so
on
that
it.
it's like you're still just this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I think that it makes it so that we bring the way we even look at it is like, oh, it's another black owned business. That doesn't like it doesn't prestige your business to like, you know what I mean? And I think it should. I think it should, but I don't know if we think of the thing that way.
I think it shouldn't. I think we need to actually operate our businesses in a way where we don't need to be sitting there thinking about, oh, this is a black business. We need to just do good business.
No,
Do that
what
make
I'm saying
sense?
is that at the end of the day, I know for a fact that like the Hispanics in the cement industry,
Mhm.
they work together. They the drivers that they hire, dude ain't come over there and ask us, do you anyone looking for a job? He ain't even got no drivers yet. He ain't asked man one of us if he was looking for a job. He's gonna get his Hispanic brothers and sisters and cousins and uncles. He's gonna get them in there driving them trucks. They also gonna be the ones that's laying the concrete. You know what I mean? Which they're already doing that at, you know what I mean? Predominantly from what I'm seeing in the city, they're already laying it the most.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's hard for you to, as the come up there and even get somebody to speak English to you. They doing all of it, and they from the top all the way down. They finna run the whole joint.
Yeah. And I guess I don't know. Maybe we're close to the very similar spots to the conversation. I don't think that. I think we said that only black people label their businesses, which I don't agree with. I think that that's not true. I think that only the predominant culture doesn't label their business. Like there's Latino credit unions, and then like
Facts.
you said, like same way, like they're all going to work with each other.
Yeah.
If you go to the Hispanic side of town, it's like right up here on Elmore, it's mad Hispanic this, Hispanic that.
But they ain't even know Hispanic side of
If you
town
go to
no
big-
more.
you-
They
but then
got
you go-
blocks.
So if you go to
in
big
every
cities,
side
they
of
got
town.
Chinatowns,
Yeah,
and Koreatowns all
literally,
over.
like there was a whole Chinese mall down on North China.
Okay,
Yep.
but
And it was known as a Chinese mall.
Shit,
Same thing with like
we did a shooting at
same thing with like the halal, like the whole little halal spaces on what is that? It's not Shamrock, but up the street. Like there's a whole space that's based around that entire thing. I just think that what somebody just said it, like we have to do better business. And I think that like there's another space where diversifying, we tend to like focus in on very specific sectors where there's a lot more sectors that we should probably try and dive into. Albeit like concrete, or I mean, to me, I think it's just like high earning spaces in which we can invest in and get guaranteed return to bring the resources back to the community, whatever that field is. Whether we're talking about on the higher intellectual line of like lawyers and doctors and own
But
their own
even
practices,
blue-collar shit,
or
too.
if we're talking about like cement trucks and dump
Box
trucks,
trucks or
box
whatever.
truck,
Yeah,
like
whatever
trucking
it
in
is.
itself is a huge industry.
Construction,
Construction, like whatever those things are. To me, I think it's just about making sure that we do better quality of it. But I wouldn't say like I don't think that black people are the only ones that just say black business, because Jewish businesses is a thing. It's
so
almost a tag to every single kind of business.
So the thing about it, even though these
That's a
other type
minority.
of businesses are a thing, you don't really like their businesses
for small business.
For small business. I was about to say though, there are a lot of businesses around here that are owned by Asians. We don't know are owned by Asians, owned by Mexicans that we don't know are owned by Mexicans. We supporting these businesses every single day.
Like what would be the examples of these?
Well, I mean, like Tyson's, any beauty supply store.
But I think that everybody all knows nails and beauty supply stores are Asian.
But who's
corner
the main
stores are all
consumer of-
Arabs. Like it's not like nobody like these are things that we all know.
Well, I guess that I see what you're saying. That they don't necessarily say it.
Yeah, it doesn't say Asian beauty supply store, but everybody knows when you walk in there, it's going to be the Asians.
Okay, so why can't that be the thing with black business?
I don't think that every black business says the black.
No, they don't. Most of them don't have.
It's not like black, and that's the same difference.
Well, I mean, if you're doing business, the goal is to get big enough to where you don't have to say that no more. Like it's cool to start off as a black business, but like once you get like if you're really successful at that business, it's going to be more than just a black. You because you want to sell to the entire market. You want your market share to include way more than just what black people make up of the market.
Right.
It's cool if you got all the black people in the market, but there's so much more to market that you can get. So once you get past that, then you don't want to be a black. I want to be a business. I want to get all the money. I don't want just the black people's money. I want Asian money. I want Hispanic money. Why? I want all the money, not just our money.
On top of that, you know, I believe in words have power too, and it's one of them things like what is black in front of that's good.
I knew you was about to go there.
Like
Friday.
like,
Right.
I ain't gonna get deep on that. Even that got some stuff too. But I'm like, it ain't really too much that black is in front of. That's
I ain't wanna. I ain't trying, but I hear what you're saying, and I done heard you make that statement a few times, but I don't want to go too deep into that one. That's a whole wormhole joint. But
I ain't even interested in the word.
Yeah, that goes back to what I was saying too. It's like as black businesses, what we do, we're continuously, and then something else. It's like we're not trying to. It's like we're recreating the wheel instead of like real innovation.
Instead of putting four wheels together and making a car.
Right. It's like we're just like we're recreating.
You got to give
the
me an
wheel.
example of
What I'm saying is that we'll see something that we believe is working for someone else, and then just try to do that thing, and in a way that we.
But that's typical small business in general. I don't think that's like,
okay.
subjective to like black.
Well, yes. When you say small business, I can understand. And I was just thinking about business idea wise, just business ideas. I think that if you see, just look there on your social media feeds, like it's the same things over and over and over. Is what I'm saying. It's like we're continuously going into the same place for this to start, and it's no like
it's like nails and lashes. Like can't everybody?
Well, most of those are all like those.
I'm not saying nails and lashes. That was an example I was using. I'm just saying in general. Whatever you see it on your feed too. Whatever it may differ from what I see, but there's something that you see redone over and over, or this certain service that's provided, or this product that's
everybody's trying to do.
Everybody's doing over. That's like how I was getting into the t-shirts. You know what I mean? When I was doing it was like something that everybody was doing at the same time.
Right, but I think that you're going to see a ample amount of low cost, like things that don't take high overhead and capital.
Mm-hmm.
And those things are going to be repeated often. So like t-shirt is one of them. Lashes, that like all the little creative little things that you can do. To me, are those, I don't know if I like really, like nobody's quitting their job off of any of those jobs. If that makes sense. Like to me, I don't think that they actually they cross the threshold of like having, most of them don't even have real LLCs behind them. Like these are things that are hobbies that people are kind of doing, but are they actually the jobs that are registered within like the Small Business Bureau? Probably not. I don't think most of them is not. Same difference like hair tech. Like most girls just know how to do it, so it's a side hustle. Most of them still be clocking in at their call center.
Who else got to be a call center?
That's what they all work at.
I don't
know.
Hey, I drove past. What's it called? Accor. That's where they all work at.
I ain't even heard of that one.
That's
what's the other one?
Accor.
It was one that was when niggas getting beat up at it. Everything got in the parking lot of that truth. Hey, not for real though. Off WT. But I guess I'm gonna pass it. You have a something that I feel like it will be a conversation with Leg. So I'll
got you. Look like Tone's gonna go to one of the guest ones, and then I'll hop in.
Okay.
And Alvin also sent one too, so we can get into that after mine, I guess, or be after yours, Tone.
Yeah, Alvin Lamar, appreciate you better.
This from Mama Sharon.
Mom, dudes.
At one point, did you become a Muslim?
At one point,
did you become a Muslim?
At one point, I became several religions because that's the only way you can really find out what's going on in a religion. Religion is not something that you can just study the books about it and now you know about them. I had to be a member of the Fruit of Islam in order to know. Minister Farrakhan calls me his son. I was not regular even in that endeavor, just because whoever the true God is, I don't play about him. And I understand that regardless of what you choose to call him, it's the same entity. And once you study all of the religions, you find out that nobody's really disagreeing with anybody. The Jews don't believe this whole set of things that Christians don't, and Muslims either.
Why are people so afraid of Farrakhan?
This nigga, bro. What kind of...
Well, if you had the ability to control the black people on this planet, there isn't anything that you couldn't take, dismantle, destroy, or interrupt if you could mobilize black people. And so part of the ops agenda, a part of their modus operandi, is to find out which one of you niggas is a potential leader. And if you are, then we begin a work of progress on your life, which will make people get off of that. It's a part of it, as much as in any defense, you trying to figure out which way this dude is likely to go so I can rip that ball. It's the same.
Farrakhan is a polarizing individual. A lot of people really, I do believe, don't really understand him. I think that there are people who gets the message. This is what frightens them, is because they know, as you alluded to, they know what he's capable of doing. You know, uniting black people and guiding and leading black people in the right way.
There's not been a successful one of those yet. So just like if you're a rapper, any rapper can get hit. We can go through 300 years of history and look for all the black people that fit the description you just said. They never make it.
Yeah, which is why I believe that they should stop trying to make it. I really do believe that, it's each one, reach one, teach one, but the leadership is in yourself. Like all of us are capable. Well, not all of us, but many of us are capable of being a leader. Like instead of sitting around just waiting on one person to be that leader,
well said. But in real time, being the leader of yourself gets you nothing. The people demand to be led regardless. There's not 13 shepherds and all these sheep. Why? Because it's unnecessary. Just one. Just one that has the connection with the sheep, which allows the sheep who has a brain about that small to be able to just focus on eating grass.
Yeah.
Who said that one? Which one? Oh, that was from Mom Dukes.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was I actually watched that.
No, that's good. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, he got into a couple different things that I don't know. I think that most of my commentary will probably end up branching into my question later, so I'll kind of reserve. But he did that end part was really interesting, like the idea of needing a leader or each one teach one, the community aspect. I think that it's interesting.
Oh yeah, I know. The Farrakhan thing was interesting to me because we all went to the Million Man March. We saw what that man could do. We saw the power that man had. It was 800,000 people in DC, black people. You saw the power that man got and how he can galvanize us. Like it was amazing. I witnessed it and was like, damn, that's
the funny thing,
crazy.
Some of y'all remember this. Y'all remember as we were walking up to get to the space in which he was going to give the speech. Remember the white guy with the megaphone talking about white Jesus? You remember that?
I remember a white man out there
with the megaphone.
I don't remember a mega, but I know. Yeah,
but I won't forget that. That was that's one of the parts of that trip that will stay ingrained because it's like, what are you trying to?
Nah, you ain't nobody listening to you, bro.
And everybody just walking right around them. That's what I thought.
Nobody even engaging.
Even paid them no attention. We all just walked right around them, just like drove them on. So many people just coming down.
Nobody worried about that. But now the thing I was gonna say is like you saw what he did there. But then you look and like what other person can do that, but then you won't see him on any national publication. You won't see him on CNN. You won't see him on ABC, NBC. And it's like, of course they censoring this dude because like he had 800,000 people in DC. Black people ready, like motherfucker could have snapped his fingers. And that January 6th shit they talk about, it would have been 20 times that. If black people,
I wouldn't know. I wasn't going. You was going.
Yeah, Johnny's talking in hyperbole right now, but whatever. I get the point.
All I'm saying is,
you
bro,
have niggas to respond back, and you was doing a monologue. It'd have been something good that kept flowing in the monologue.
But no, what I'm saying is,
you just asked for our response.
January 6th, they had like 1,000 people. Like some, we had 800. Even if 20%
That
went
was
in.
more than 1,000 people also.
January 6th.
Like at like all the.
I'm talking about the people that actually went in.
Oh, maybe 1,000 made it in, but they all was in that bit.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is it was way more people at the Million Man
Nah,
March,
that's a fact.
and we were the same way they getting Trump for exciting the riot. Farrakhan could have did the same thing very easily if he wanted to.
And he had been under the desk.
Oh yeah, nah, they would have roofed him like quick too. I don't know if he'd have made it off
Okay.
the ground.
That's what I was about to say. Farrakhan couldn't have done it.
He wouldn't have made it off the ground.
Okay, but sometimes the statement would have been he might not have been here, but the statement would have been
The only
made.
thing I'm saying is I wouldn't go. He could snap his finger. He could have whatever he would go come up with. Bro. I ain't going to.
I'm saying, but what if 20,000 people went in before you?
Bro, I'm not convincible.
So I really would like to ask. I'm just going to ask a genuine question here. What has the nation, and keep in mind, I'm really being genuine here. I really want to know this. What has the Nation of Islam done for Black people? What has Farrakhan done for Black people?
Hold on. So like, let me ask you.
As far as like
a,
as far as towards the progression to have this the group that I can snap my fingers and make this happen.
What is? Well, listen, this is
because and
I'm genuinely asking. I'm aware of some stuff, but I'm just curious
I think
what y'all
that if we're speaking, I guess you can use it like one, there'll be the example, then two, it'll be like the outward push to it. In which I think they are an example of a self-sustaining Black community that is all Black everything, from the school to i.e. like the breakfast program XYZ to economics to banking. Even if you go to Betty's Ford right now, I think like it's on that strip between pretty much the two lights from what is that, Oaklawn, and that first light right before you about to go to W.T. Harris. Not W.T. Harris, West Charlotte. I can't remember the name. LaSalle. There we go. LaSalle and Oaklawn. There we go.
Gotcha.
There's a Nation of Islam real estate company. They also own multiple business. They own multiple land and businesses inside that strip right there. In which, again, to me, I've seen an autonomous, peaceful, pretty much group of Black people that have been able to circulate the dollar consistently. Also, I mean, just the genuine. I mean, the general. And again, I'm kind of freestyling it right now, but the optic of what a Black family can look like with inside like the reins of moral, upstanding XYZ. I think that those are like some of the examples that I would say. They have self-sustaining communities, and pretty much what you hear about the Nation of Islam across the board is kind of like very similar in the same thing. I don't know, like if are we talking about? I don't know, like it's such. Go ahead, I'll let you chime in.
So my thing will be is that like the question is kind of like one of those. It's hard to have like. I guess we'll take it as a good faith question. It's kind of, to me, it's like if you've seen like the leaders of the past time, there's almost like nothing that he hasn't done that is not like consistent, except for, I mean, well, I won't even say that. It's like that foundation, that family foundation, that community foundation, everything that we need as a community, he is speaking and living this thing. And so he's able to, and I can't say living the thing because I don't know him personally, but based on what we do know, what we have seen, is that he's consistent in his message and his love for Black people, and he's consistent in the teachings, the way that he understands. And these are all beneficial teachings to Black people, for Black people, from Black people. So like if I don't like I can stand on either side, like as far as the not even getting into the spiritual space. We just keep it in like just the man himself and what he stands for. We're gonna just keep it there. And I think that like that, without question, I don't really see where it is that if we're gonna take it out of completely aside from religious context, I don't see where there's an art or a question that can be taken without within good faith. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like that's a question. I don't think that question can be taken easily into good faith if we minus the religious context. To ask what has Farrakhan done for Black people?
No, I genuinely
but I mean, I think.
No, hey, time out. No, I think because Tone comes from a Christian point of view. Like you gotta.
That's why I said we take the religious kind of that portion out
But
of
that's
it.
where
and
he's.
just
But
what
he's I mean, he's still
for.
asking
But
just for the thing. I don't think that I don't think it's a bad question.
Yeah, I don't think it's.
I know, like for me, like if I had like
was,
a little bit more time to like actually sit and let my thoughts,
and my
it'd be
question
easy
is,
to run it down.
I want to
but
answer
go
it
ahead.
too.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
no,
go ahead.
I want to answer it too because, like I say, Tone, I come from a similar like raising from like very Christian, and like so I can understand like why because I even had the same question like about like what has it really done, but you got to look at it like to me from what I understand. This is just me speaking from me. When I was hear about Christianity and stuff, it's always from a kind of white point of view. And when the Nation of Islam is like the first religion that like put my people first, and it's the first religion that like was unifying. It was black people, even like from back like the Malcolm X.
Real quick, sorry to interrupt you, but is the Nation of Islam and they is it the same as Islam?
It is a branch of Islam.
It is Islam. Yeah, yeah. I
but
mean,
like the same way that you have different denominations of Christianity, you have like there's Orthodox, there's Sunni Muslim, there's Nation of Islam, which is its own
Baptist,
version
Methodist,
of in which they do use the Quran, but it is not the same as being an Orthodox Muslim.
Okay, and do they have like? I'm trying to understand the difference between the two.
I think Nation of Islam is primarily it's an American version of Islam that is based in the empowerment of black people.
and in a Christian point of view, it's almost like the difference between like Catholic and Christian. How Catholicism is Christianity, but it's its own version of it.
And Catholicism that's it's not Christianity, but that's a whole nother conversation. But I'm just trying to understand, get an understanding as far as like.
Well, then, if you don't think Catholicism is Christianity, you probably wouldn't think Nation of Islam is Islam.
I don't necessarily think that. Like that's why I'm trying to understand what they. So they study from the Quran, and we got a comment here that says he teaches from both the Bible and Quran. Which before I was coming over here, this is what I was looking at, like just studying some stuff. A lot of Islamic people outside of the Nation of Islam study the Bible and the Quran.
Yeah,
and they believe they believe in the Messiah. They believe that the Messiah is coming back. They refer to him as Isa. But they believe that the Messiah is coming back. So I'm familiar with a lot more. Like I was asking this question mainly just to build up to a certain point. What I really wanted to know is what does having a leader like out of all the leaders that we've had, what like this leader that we keep looking for, how has it benefited us? Am I making sense with that question? I'm trying to figure out a better way to formulate that.
But who was a better leader for black people, Martin Luther King or Malcolm X? One was Christian, one was Islam.
No,
and
I think he's speaking about like it not being important for there to literally be a
okay. So literally, and I'm asking this question because like y'all was just saying, I'm a Christian and I've been reading the Bible and reading more and more stuff and understanding these people in the Bible. And God's people, the Hebrews, just keep it there. I ain't gonna go all deep, but God's people, the Hebrews, he told them to let him lead them. They wanted a leader. They kept looking for a king. And every single time that they got a king, they turned away from God and then they started doing their own thing. And then they ended up in a whole bunch of trouble. Then they start crying out for God again. And then he comes save them. And then they go back to worshiping idols, and the same process keep repeating itself.
Yeah, no, and
I get that. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
See, my thing is that I don't know if people like idolize them as like what we would say. And honestly, where I thought you were going to go, where it's pretty much where you go. It's like the idea of waiting for the Messiah and not allowing anyone to lead until that has come to pass. Is that what you're saying?
Nah, what I was going to, I was trying not to get too spiritual here,
but my thing is, Tone, my thing is like if we shouldn't look to men to lead us, why should we like? Why does it matter what religion or like does it? Why does So you're not saying Christianity is the best religion for people, are you? Or
I believe in Jesus, so of course I'm gonna say Christianity is the best religion for people. But I'm not trying to tell nobody to go into no religion. For one, I would want you to have a relationship with Christ more so than be focused on this religion. That's a whole nother different thing. What I'm more so alluding to is how we keep looking for this leader, and that's like it's not working for us.
Well, I mean, they end up getting killed.
Yeah, well, but I guess if we're going back to like Farrakhan, I don't think that people are like directly looking at Farrakhan as like the Black Messiah or leader. And I also I don't like maybe if you was like Nation of Islam, but he was never the Black Messiah.
I
That's not
think
like
I
that.
think
He just
Elijah Muhammad was
he-
more that.
Yeah, Elijah Muhammad was closer to that for sure. But like if you listen to him speak, he's not like speaking about religion at all. It's just like wisdom and words of like how as Black people we can do specific things to help ourselves in general. It's usually just like words of wisdom in general. Like it's not specifically a religious conversation. And when he does dive into like anything or reference, a lot of times he's referencing the Bible because he understands that the crowd understands that. And like he has a really diverse crowd. So he's not like diving into like Quran speak XYZ. But again, like I do think that there is value in good examples. And I think that Farrakhan, in general, what he speaks to and what he's done and what he's did within the community is a good example of what being a positive community member is, and leader in general. Yeah, that'd be
All
my.
right, so the other portion, just real quick, because like how my thought process is working is, like I asked y'all what he's done for Black people, kind of in the sense of, is there anything that really like what does the solution actually look like for us? You know what I mean?
The solution
Like
to what?
like as far as if a leader, if there is a leader, say Farrakhan was like, what does the solution actually look like for us in order to grow from the predicaments that?
Well,
It depends on what you believe the problem
But
is.
I think that a lot of these are going to kind of. This will lead a lot closer to like the conversation that I do want to get into a little bit later.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can.
I don't want to like
I'm sure it's gonna come back up.
dive into to that at the moment per se.
I'm sure it's gonna come back up.
No, I was thinking about something.
Okay.
What did I do?
Oh no. I was like, it depends on what you believe the problem is.
No, that was a good one. Oh yeah, that was a good one. I did.
I thought you.
I tried to look at you, but I didn't want to interrupt you. But yeah, that was a good one though. For sure, I like that. I'm gonna use that again.
Yeah. Well, I got two from my tab real quick. Ain't gonna. This first one just funny. Ain't change the mode. I thought it was
that's mellow.
Yeah, so I had to choose myself. Because care of yourself is self-care. You gotta stand on business. Yeah, so I had to choose myself.
What they be doing?
What's that? Oh no, what is it? What up, G-Way?
Yeah, I thought that was genuinely funny though. All right, this one got some legs right here.
If you are super self-aware and also really stuck, you need to understand the difference between self-intellectualization and self-understanding. Research shows us that about 90% of people consider themselves to be highly self-aware, but when we actually measure for self-awareness, only about 15% of people actually are. What's happening is that people confuse self-intellectualization with self-understanding. Self-intellectualization is like torturing yourself trying to solve the intellectual puzzle of who you are, why you are the way you are, where all your patterns come from. Self-intellectualization is a symptom of internalized shame. When you have been conditioned to believe that something is fundamentally wrong with you, that you are inherently broken, almost like you become addicted to seeing yourself that way. And you will collect all this information about yourself in the world as evidence to prove that you are broken. That's self-intellectualization. Self-understanding is when you have a deeply felt intimate relationship with your internal world. I'm going to give you a simple tool here. Self-intellectualization asks why. Why am I like this? Why are other people like this? Why did this happen? Why me? Self-understanding asks what? What is important to me? What am I feeling? What do I want to feel? Why blocks you from your unconscious material? What opens it up like the Red Sea? If you are super self-aware and
I'm glad he defined it because what was it? So the first one was
Intellectualization.
Yeah, I know.
That's one of them SAT words.
Yeah,
that's deep. I don't know, because
have you ever felt like you were a weirdo? Like in comparison, because I used to say that all the time. I don't know if you remember, but it was like it came to a point where I was like,
bro,
weird,
I
but I
think
don't
being
think
weird
that
is
motherfucker
normal,
is
bro. I think everybody's a
Yeah, but
weirdo
I
in
think
some
that's a
place.
normal.
Like I think everybody thinks they're a weirdo at some point.
Yeah, but I think that becomes like so. What I got from what he was saying was like it's the idea of like I'm a weirdo, and then saying like, oh, this is what makes me a weirdo because of this, because of this, because of this, because of this. Looking at everybody else and saying, oh, this is what makes me a weirdo. And then the other thing is like it's like okay, I'm a weirdo, and for me, I can't go all the way into like what he was saying. For me, what I can think of is like I'm okay with it, man. Like
Well, that's
this is who I am. Like just the more inward acceptance of self.
I think that's the long form thing that like eventually happens. It's just like you realize that. Well, to me, I feel like you start to realize that everybody's weird, and everybody being weird makes it more normal. And it's not just a thing that you're going through alone. Everybody goes through it, but we all have different. So it looks a little different everywhere. But eventually, the older you get, the more mature. The more you do the self work. That's part of the thing. You gotta be okay with, like you said, you gotta be okay with it. And some people learn to be okay with it earlier. Sometimes it takes a little long. Some people never end up being okay with it. But when you become okay with it, that's when that self actualization, or understanding, and you go from the intellectualization to the understanding.
And I think it's fire when you because you can still like you ever see people that's like our age that's still like, oh, them niggas still being cool.
Trying
You know what I mean? It's
so
like the
hard.
idea of like not wanting to be weird. I honestly wonder, like, because I know I was there. I was the guy that was wearing the Jordans and the Jabos and
Put
the
so much work into
jerseys
not
and
being weird.
you
That
just
you're the
so
actual
much.
weirdo.
No, I mean just like so much, and it's like the idea of believing that is who you are. I got to that. That's where I was. Like I got to a point to where I was doing this thing so much to where I didn't even really know. I felt like that was me being real. And then over time, it started to be like, no, I actually don't care about those things, and I'm weird. And it was like then you start to change your circle. Your friend circle becomes different then. Like your friend circle becomes these other weird guys that know they're weird, but they appreciate the fact that we can have these. Some people would call these weird conversations, but these are all of the conversations we had.
Nigga
We
been
always
weird
talk
since
like this.
'07.
But if you go in front of a group of men at the job and you have these conversations and they talk about football, you're the fucking weirdo. Like, so you know what I mean? It becomes dope where that acceptance, it changes your friend group to where you become yourself while you're by yourself and when you're around your friend group. To me, that's one of those things that comes with like the actualization of it. It's like the acceptance of like, bro,
I work with a nigga
I'm
that's
still cold.
I work with a nigga that's 50 something and still cool. Nigga cool as hell.
Yeah. See, what I took from this though, one of the main keys was like how he said self-intellectualization comes from a place of shame.
Wow.
I understood that very, very clearly because like what it ends up being, he was like saying like self-intellectualization. That's a hard word to say.
We got you.
Yeah, but he was basically saying how it comes from a place of shame because of the fact of dang, I kind of lost my train of thought where I was going. I'm sorry. I'm sitting there trying to get out the word, couldn't even lost my train of thought with it.
Yeah, one of the things I'm gonna make this real quick, and we got to see you got some things over and been compiling some shit over there. Just real quick. The one thing that I understood was like the why. It's self intellectualization. It's like why this, why that. It's almost like an idea of being the victim. That's what I kind of closely related to. Is like being the victim in your story when you're creating the story.
Okay, so kind of how I was thinking about it too was like from a place of you ever heard the phrase where they say like art, like when you create art, it's meant to be you're not supposed to be the one judging. All you need to do is create it and release it. The other people are supposed to look at it and respond, and judge it. I think it's kind of one of those things. It's like where like self-intellectualization is trying to look at the art and judge it, and you keep trying to change the artwork instead of just examining what is it that this artwork is saying to me. You keep trying to look at the why so much, and it ends up leading to self-sabotage.
I can see that.
Like, And I know I'm guilty of it. That's why
That's
I
a great
understood
way to
exactly
put
what
it.
he was
I see
saying.
what you're saying.
Because it was like it like when I listened to him say this and he explained all of this, I was like, you know what? I'm doing that. Like some of the things where like I am self-aware about a lot of stuff, but there is a lot of times where I'm thinking it's self-awareness and it's really self-intellectualization. And I'm sabotaging myself in doing that.
Mm.
That's sort of
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I specifically agree with him or just. I think that intellectualization is as important as what's the other word he said?
self-awareness.
Self-awareness. Because it's the what and the why. And I think that both of those kind of go hand in hand, and to not be able to self-critique and to only accept can kind of lead you inside a really weird space as well. In the same way as like if you're only trying to justify, but you never get to the root cause why. I mean, like the what.
Yeah.
What does it actually stem from? I think they have to go hand in hand, or you're probably gonna be in a fuck situation either way. I think that a lot of people lean on one or the other, and that's probably what the issue is. But I also don't think that intellect in the word.
Yeah.
Is
They got everybody.
yeah. I don't think that it's specifically shame. If you're finding the why, I guess maybe depending on how you're doing self-reflection in general, because that's what self-reflection is. That I'm thinking about why I'm doing these things. The reality is that so much of our behaviors in itself are unconscious behaviors that we're just doing. So if we don't actually take a bit of time to sit and try and like reflect and think, okay, why am I doing it? Not what, because what is almost the like the lizard brain. Like I know that I have a satiable desire to get something, I mean, like whatever makes me feel good. That's usually most of the what. Like, why do I want to take a drink? Why do I want to smoke a cigarette? Why do I want to do whatever? Usually the what is a satiable desire that's going to release dopamine. That's literally the what when it really, really comes down to it. But there is a piece of self-actualization, means intellectualization, to understand the why. Like, what are the triggers? What was getting me there? And I think that to me, like I said, I think that you have to marriage a bit of both of them to be, I don't know, like get the best out of the scenario situation.
I agree because I definitely think I'm putting it more like the why leads to the what. Like you have to do a bit of
Whichever way. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I think they got to go hand in
yeah,
hand.
because
I don't think they should be separate.
I think you definitely have to go through the self-intellectualization to get self-awareness. Like I think it's
The
hard.
funny part is that because that ends up being that's where accountability lies at, is the
Right.
self-intellectualization.
Right, and that's why I say like that's why I think it like I don't like you said it has to be a hand in hand, but I think one comes before the other. I don't think you get to being self-aware without
I think it's a marriage of the two.
truly being it without really asking those questions. I don't think you can truly be self-aware if you haven't asked those questions. And then once you ask them, you don't have to continuously ask them because you kind of know them, but you do have to get that answer before you can understand yourself.
That's a good point. So let me ask you this. So based in that, so y'all believe, and this is one of those things that I kind of accepted with myself that I don't have the answer to. Like I can't think back to the thing that happened that caused me to have this defense or you know what I mean? But I know that this defense comes when said certain circumstance presents itself. So what it is, it's not necessarily, I can't answer the why, but I can answer how I respond. So like, I think that
It sounds like you're trying to find the origin point and not just like understanding that a specific thing triggers. Like if you understand the why, like this thing triggers me, that's the why. Like not knowing like exactly what the beginning of said quote unquote trauma is not as important as understanding like this triggers
identifying.
me. Yes, identifying. Like this is making me feel away, and this is where it stems
So
from.
like, when I hear like why, I see what you're saying. The why for the what, not necessarily the why for the
like the beginning.
I hear what you're saying. Okay, I can agree to that.
Hey Johnny, so tell us how them snow bunnies better than black.
Dang, I wanted to run a couple of.
Oh yeah,
no, I was about to go to it. I just had to mess with her real quick.
I had to throw it out there.
Hey, he just had to wish that you see the post we left about on the cliff. Talk about the why it makes black community feel something about the black men in dresses.
Oh, talking about I think you're supposed to wear your dress today.
Oh yeah,
who said that?
Come on, man.
You said why do we react so crazy to it?
I didn't say I was gonna do it either. I ain't say I was
Come on,
gonna
Johnny.
do
I
it.
pulled up with my hoochie daddies on. I thought you was gonna have your dress on. Come on.
I ain't say I was
I
gonna
knew
do
I
it.
was like looking over there and sitting a little more thigh
Yeah,
than I wanted to.
I brought my thighs out. Real, he's been requesting the
No,
camel.
that's
the camel toe. The Cam him toe, maybe. I don't know. Cam him toe. I don't know. So I said I bring the thighs back out in the wintertime.
I was gonna say,
You know what I
nigga, it's
mean?
45 degrees out there, bro.
I got a heater by me. It's all right. All right. Hit refresh real quick.
You added something else? Oh yeah.
This guy, he caught my ear. Go to that first guy. I ain't listen to it.
You feeling sorry when I'm saying call me. Roll up a palm tree, I'm waiting on you all week. I let the song speak, then I hear a heartbeat. It was all for the cause and effect I wanted. Let me get to know you. Said I'd just be on some laid back shit. Like the roll of weed and riding Maybach whips. She want a man who she could say that's him. I'm on in my man, that's why I watch her. You so in love with Indo. Roll one more, keep him coming. Don't let this smoke out the window. She wants more and love it. You so in love with Indo. Roll one more, keep him coming. Don't let it. I'm feeling sorry with.
Position of the gold teeth with the live band living room sessions.
I sent you
just like just good vibes and melody.
Does that second half, what do y'all call it? Afro or something?
Afro beats?
Yeah, it kind of has like that general
feel-
Afro beat swing to it.
I just want to make sure I be knowing, you know what I mean? Make sure I can pinpoint where y'all be talking about. I don't be knowing Afro beat. So that's just it's the feel type.
Like I don't know if like
sway
that's
vibe to it.
specifically Afro beat, but
I'm
that
saying
does
it's
have the vibe to
that
it.
bit.
Yeah.
Okay. It's more of that feel.
Yeah, in which a lot of like the drums
And
the,
where
the
the
swing
hi-hat
kind,
sit.
it also
not
mimics
the
a lot of
hi-hat,
like Afro Latin, like it's like an Afro Latina groove almost to an extent.
Okay.
I also think real Afro beats is African people though. Like I consider I don't think.
But he's just talking about sonically. Like
Yeah.
what are some
no, that's what I
similarities
was
to
talking
sound?
about. I was trying to make sure that
like Tim's has records that aren't Afro beat, and she has some records that are.
Yeah, okay. But I don't think. Yeah, I think I still don't. Yeah, I don't think he's Afro beat. But I think there was.
Oh no, it was really just the second half
Yeah.
of that back half when the beat changed.
But even melody
But I
wise,
get it.
like he followed the format of
Right,
like
yeah.
a lot of what. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
If we want to say that's American Afro beat, yeah.
He got a song called "Leave Me On" that's really fire too. Y'all should check that out too. I like
Gotcha.
it, bro.
Tone, let's scroll down a little bit. I want to do two back to back. You see there's a white man, white woman right beside that black man in the car. It's middle, right there. Yep.
For millennial parents, we overdocument everything. I took 103 photos of my kids eating breakfast this morning.
We're millennial parents. We're learning to control our emotions alongside our kids because we were always taught to suppress them.
We're millennial parents. We have online parenting groups that we can go to ask questions, and the answers only make me cry like 70% of the time.
We're millennial parents. We're terrified of screwing up our kids.
We're millennial parents. We second guess every single parenting decision we make.
We're millennial parents. We're confident that we're better at parenting than every other generation.
We're millennial parents. We gentle parent.
Until we don't. Hey, put that down.
We're millennial parents.
And then go to the black couple right above them.
We're Black millennial parents. We finally have McDonald's money.
We're Black millennial parents. We're serious about breaking those generational curses.
We're Black millennial parents. Our kids only know belts for holding up their pants.
We're Black millennial parents. We realize we don't need to give the kids any more to cry about.
We're Black millennial parents. We don't lose our shit when our kids ask why.
But sometimes it's still because I said so.
We're Black millennial parents. We don't subscribe to gender norms. I'm just choosing to clean right now.
We're Black millennial parents. We finally get why our parents used to walk.
We're Black millennial parents.
Yeah, I think that was the interesting little like trend that was going on. Millennial parent thing. I don't know. Yeah.
I like both of them. I like, honestly, becoming a parent is very dope to just hear what people use as their parenting strategies and things that work and don't work for them. I'm not the type person to where even people without kids, I don't mind you having, saying something, because I know that before I had kids, I came up with some great ideas. You know what I mean? That I planned on implementing when I had kids, but it just didn't work that way. So it don't mean that they don't have good ideas. It's just they don't understand the implementation part of it as well as you do with kids. They can have great ideas. So I mean, I listen to, when it comes to parenting, I listen to what everybody has to say. And then hey, it's entertaining conversation to me. You may know better than me, may not. I still run my, you know what I mean? The thing about parenting, boy, is the hardest part that I think it is finding balance between selflessness and self. You got to find yourself somewhere in there. And so that's the hardest part. How much time do you actually need? You know what I mean? Are you giving yourself too much time where you could be giving yourself less time and putting more time to them? Or are you giving them too much time and then forgetting about yourself? There's a line, especially with the 40 hours and the roof and the da-da-da-da, how many, you know what I mean, things you have going on. There's a line where, to me, that's that space that I'm trying to figure out. And I think that's probably where most of it's like, who knows? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? I can only imagine like kids going to school and having to go and talk to the teachers, and because I want to know these teachers, I want them to know me. So you're saying 40 hours to the schoolhouse with homework. You know what I mean? Where you it's gonna be hard to find yourself in there. So that also gave me
you
the ability
ain't allowed to go to the schoolhouse every day.
I ain't going every day, but I'm gonna make sure that they know who I am though. That they can see me. I'll give them my number because I gave them the wrong number too long. I'll give them teachers the wrong number for like 4 or 5.
Oh, you talking about like open house?
Like
So like
6 years, bro.
In general,
you didn't want them calling.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna give you my mom's number so you can snitch on me.
Of course.
Oh, you talking about back? Okay,
but
yeah.
to state what you was just saying. Right now, typically, like you have like your open houses and shit like that. But most schools, whether elementary, middle school, high school, they do have like limits to how much a parent can come in day to day.
Oh, yeah.
If that makes sense.
Well,
Like you really can't.
You can message.
Oh yeah, like
stuff,
but
right?
there is a bunch of transparency inside grades. You can always see what your kid has.
Yeah,
like you have Power School, you have open line of communication through email with the teacher at any point in time. Like there is consistent communication, but yeah, you ain't going to.
Oh yeah, well I'll go with whatever.
Usually they don't even let you
have.
like back in the day you could walk your kid into the class, but but because of so many different like risks with parents, like different shit like that.
That's crazy.
And like it's so many different little things. Back when I was in teaching, it was already making that transition to where it was like, nah, you gotta drop the kid off, and then,
it's crazy. People actually go to the schoolhouse and fight people's kids.
No, I don't think it's like it's. There's also parents that like argue with teachers, and that get hostile.
Okay.
As well. That's closer to like
what the normal thing was.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, that still is not nothing. That doesn't help anyone.
Well, I mean, I think in general, people are like kids, and parenting is an emotional space, and like too many times, this isn't a justification in any way.
That's
but,
what I thought you were doing. Okay.
Like to not think that people are going to react emotionally about their kids, whether it's their kids got in trouble and it was that other kid, but this teacher's telling me this, or if it's the grade, or if this teacher is telling me something negative about my parent. We done seen too many memes that we done reacted to about like parents and teachers speaking and like somebody getting upset about how whether they're not doing enough or they need to do more. Like kids, their emotional thing. If you're telling somebody about their kid, tempers and emotions can rise really, really quick.
Tyrone is a little asshole.
It'd be what's what we call Karen? Yeah, Karen. Karens get turned the fuck up too.
Oh yeah, I seen Karen throw a ball at a teacher in a video. She was turned around. Oh, no, it was a dude, and he was actually either way.
Go all the way up to the top. And I this would be my last one. It says it's the white man in the middle.
This is exactly what's going on in our country of why we're so divided. We are living in a dual economy. There is a good economy and a bad economy. Who's living in a good economy? Anyone who bought a house from the year 2020 and before is significantly doing better in today's economy. Why? Because they're not burdened with the astronomical mortgage price or astronomical rent price. Number two, those of you who do not have college debt, you are not burdened by the college debt, or you have a few $100. I have seen people even comment that they have $1,400 a month in student loan payments. The average in the country is $503. That is a huge burden, especially if the incomes aren't keeping up. And the last one that is running rampant in our country is the daycare cost. It is $350 a week for an infant. Not a private, not a bougie, not a privileged, just the normal go to daycare is $350 for an infant. I see parents telling me in their comments they're spending $4,000 a month on 2 or 3 children for daycare. So if your kids are out of school or not in daycare and you get to save that money, not have the high rent prices and no college, $75K, you are crushing it in today's economy. But what are people going to point to, especially in an election year? How great the economy is, which is good for half the country. But there's another half that we cannot ignore and can't write them off as complaining. We need to literally pay attention to what's going on, not because of this year alone, but because where we're going to be in 5 years if we don't make a change. This is exactly what's going on in our country of why we're so divided.
Yeah, I like that one.
That's about
He was talking the facts of all the facts.
I was gonna say that's about the cleanest way I've seen somebody put it.
Mhm.
Like even when it comes to like not merging the financial with the political, and like that was very clean. I like that.
Merging the financial with the political. What you mean?
Talking about the election year and the
Mm-hmm.
divisiveness and how some people are selling how good the economy is, and then you're talking about voters and and selling yourself to voters, and how if you're preaching one side, you're forgetting another. You're preaching we done did this. You're forgetting that half the people ain't really experiencing that.
Gotcha. It wasn't like when any close to like the takeaway that I
No, he was just saying he liked that he didn't go and make it like a political thing. It's more just about like the realist behind the ideas. Like if you take it into
that's not what Johnny just said. He said
that's what he started with. He just
said he
explained
liked
the fact that
I said I liked how he merged it with the
Yeah,
political divide. He talked about the divide, and he talked about how there's
no, he was really trying to tell you that this is the reason for the divide, not this. So he was actually telling what the divide was based in. At least that's what I got from what he was saying. The divide is really based in
Johnny
the
heard
people that are
politics
doing
and like,
good
I'm
and the
not
people
out.
that aren't doing good right now. And he was saying that the people that are doing good is based on.
But
what was
he
going on
said
prior to.
election year, and
That's all he said about politics, though, Johnny.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah.
This nigga,
he said election
you're
year, but I
supposed to
think
let it go after.
Yeah, that was like 3 seconds, like the last 3 seconds of the meme. That's how Johnny, you was on your phone, wasn't you?
no, I heard what he said. I was saying with you here.
He
Never
was
mind.
looking at some
Never
buttons.
mind.
He was
Never
looking at
mind.
buttons.
Never mind.
Yeah, all right. So
Never
to me,
mind.
what this points out, and the main point of like the entire thing is based around the idea of the differences of the exact same middle class, in which middle class today can range from, as you said, 65 to 70K, all the way up to 140, 150, getting the exact but living in the exact same neighborhood with the exact same, almost similar amenities, and that difference based off of when you bought a house, kids,
if you went
and
to
like
college,
very small, minute things. And I think that in general, to me the biggest one is housing right now, and I imagine there has to be some level of a reform that comes up, or something's going to happen soon, because it's almost going to be like that pandemic split line where there's a $2,000 to $2,500 difference monthly in rent / mortgage for a lot of people. And
hold on, you said a $2,000, $2,500 a month difference between renting and the mortgage?
Yeah, like so if there's a lot of people that's like 1,100 mortgage right now.
Right.
In the same neighborhood, if you're buying today, and over the pandemic, a lot of like most if not all houses rose about 100 to 150, some 200K.
No, I see that.
More, plus you add that plus the interest rate.
Oh, the rates.
So like right now, the going rate for
but you're
a
talking
mortgage
about. Well, I'm saying you're
is
talking about. I was thinking you were talking about the person that bought versus the rent. You're talking about the person that bought then, like he said, the person that bought then versus the person that's buying now.
That's the dividing
All right,
line.
got you.
Like there is $2,000 to $2,500 of free monthly income. That's 24 to maybe 30,000 yearly that we're looking at,
and it's
of a difference. That's 75 to 105, just based purely off of that one factor.
Just think about like the that right there, right? Then most of us at our age, we say probably maybe around 2 kids. Most of us
How
on
many you
average,
got, Johnny?
0.
but on average about 2. Then there's the student loan debt, which most of us have because we were in convention. You know what I mean?
The good thing
Talk
about black
that
folk is that we don't
5
really be having high student loan debt.
Nah, I know
Because
some black folk with some shit.
HBCUs really don't cost like the difference between like a HBCU and a PWI. HBCU 1 year, PWI 1 year is an entire like 4 year, 5 years of HBCU.
No, I understand.
Like they be inside like 500,000 for undergrad.
Oh no, see that's just crazy. To me, I still look at 100 racks as crazy.
Like if you're going to Duke, if you're going to like these real like the real PWIs, it's up there.
Well, and it's a lot higher now than it was when I was going too. Because I couldn't imagine. But USC was like
that's
about 14 a year.
14.
But you know the rag.
Y'all a state school then. That's almost like HBCU.
But Livingstone was 18.5, I believe.
But in state?
Yeah.
It must be a private school. John C. Smith is really high too. It's like close to like 15, 20. Or at least it used to be.
I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, about what it was like 7 a semester.
But black folk ain't got the most student loan debt. Like those them PWIs.
Yeah, bro. If you it's dark if you got some hundreds of thousands of student loans. That's dark. Unless you're a doctor or a lawyer, which is still dark for them too.
Yeah, I don't understand. Yeah, I don't get like that's crazy to have
that's a lot of fucking
and then it's
debt.
crazy to put that debt on.
And then the worst
on
part
motherfuckers
about
that be 18 years old.
Bro, and the worst part about it is the way they separate the loans. They'll gonna give you four to 6 loans. Each of them have their own interest rate. So you're getting charged 6 different interest rates. They all may be 6%, but that's, you know what I mean, 20%. But they be getting the fuck off, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy. They be doing.
And I guess for me to end it, I do think that to me this does pose like that question of, does the American dream actually still exist with the diminishing of the middle class, or is it quote unquote the American memory? Like it's something that we fantasize about, but is not really feasible. The reality is that right now, your average American can't even afford a house. Like they can barely afford rent.
And then they're telling you
rent
to
and
put,
chicken wings.
and then they're telling you to let immigrants come stay with you.
I ain't heard that.
Oh, what's going on?
Well, they're giving you some kind of
Hey, them
what's going on?
Them
bro.
be the ones that be hustling though. They be the ones.
I mean, at the end of the day,
they be the ones that come over here and actually live in.
Nah, that's
I'm
not.
gonna tell
That's
you,
not
bro.
the point.
All of these jobs, we better hope. I think that if anybody did, some of these immigrants are gonna save the jobs for us. All of these job openings and like the fast food places and all of these places that can't hire enough people. What I'm seeing is that a whole bunch of the Hispanics are filling these. Generally, the Hispanic women are filling these positions in the hood. Like they're filling these positions. We don't want them. Obviously, we don't want to do construction. We don't want to do anything fast food related. Really, all we want to do is call center and something to do with like a computer. All we want to do is computer work at this point.
I don't think that's
So
what all
if
of
I
us
remember
Pretty
correctly,
much, predominantly, bro. That's about all we want to do.
There was a law, and it might be based on like certain states and everything that have been passing these, but there is basically laws that have been passed recently where immigrants are able to come over here illegally and stay and have free housing. Like they're telling people like I know I just seen one where they bust a whole bunch of immigrants from Texas to New York.
Oh yeah, I know Texas. They
put some of them niggas on a plane.
Texas ain't going too good right now.
Yeah, they said, but they was like it was people who wanted to go. They didn't want to be into. They wanted to go
Let
to
me
New
ask
York
you this:
anyway.
why do you think it is that we're letting so many Hispanics in?
I didn't want to go into the conspiracy theory.
Not the conspiracy theory. I'm talking about aside from like, oh, they building an army and all this shit.
No,
I'm talking about just like a regular where you can put it into the economy.
Okay,
like,
so
the idea of like what makes the economy work.
Economy wise, and it's still conspiracy. But I mean, like we have history where this has happened before, so I can't necessarily say conspiracy. But anytime that there's like a time of like stagflation, there's something else that ends up happening. So like when the gold standard stagflation, which meaning basically there's inflation going on, but everything else is stagnant. Like the jobs is stagnant.
Okay, I see.
Yeah. So I think that's called stagflation.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this happened in the 70s also, I believe, where if that's when the gold standard was changed.
It's when we went from the gold standard to the petrodollar,
Mhm.
and it
And
was
the
based
economy
on
was terrible during that time.
OPEC had raised the oil prices, and yeah,
Mhm.
in the
The
70s.
economy was really terrible during that time, but there was so much propaganda to keep people entertained. People ain't even really understand what was going on. Like, and plus we don't get information around today like they did. Like, I mean, it's a lot better today than it was then.
Right.
So people didn't even realize what was going on. So the same thing is kind of going on now, where it's like, I think it's like an order out of chaos type deal. The same thing that anytime, like, where they're trying to build stuff up in such a strategic way to make a one world government, where it's like it's a one world government, one world currency, and this has been conspiracy theory, but they actually talking about this stuff like live in action with
It'd be crazy to think of like what they doing with BRICS, and then to say like a one world currency. This is like what it would be. What would it be based on? If
Well, it's not a one world, but there's
But wait,
there's
how do
usually
we go
one.
from like the immigrants to?
Oh yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know
that,
how they-
well, yeah.
I don't
Tone
know,
got them took me
I
a
don't know,
left.
yeah,
My
yeah,
bad.
that
No,
is
I'm
crazy.
not saying you did it, but that's
No,
what my
I
mind
wanted
went.
you to. You didn't. I didn't see where you connected the dots.
Oh, Tom,
You
like,
were
as
saying
far as-
that like there's a conspiracy behind them letting immigrants into America.
The
and then
No,
you
I was
went
saying
to-
that went along with like the same stuff that's going on, like as far as trying to shut down the dollar. All of the stuff that's going on all goes hand in hand.
The reason they letting the immigrants in, I thought you was gonna say it.
Go ahead.
Is it's called white replacement theory. That's the conspiracy theory.
Johnny heard me say that last night.
But no, that's what they. If you
but
listen,
that's the thing,
And he
though.
looked
I
it
don't
up.
even think this is gonna benefit.
So go ahead. Go ahead.
you know, that's what a lot of the far right now. That's their biggest fear. They're saying that we're letting these immigrants in there because they know eventually the white race is not going to be the most dominant race,
I think
and they're trying to. And,
I think the
and
white
they're
people in
saying they're
trouble
letting them
too,
in
bro.
to accelerate that.
I think the white people in trouble
debated
too,
last
bro.
night, but yeah,
I don't think it's just us. I think the white folk in trouble too, and that they know this too. They've been speaking up about it.
Well, that's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
That's what the white replacement theory is. I mean, in essence, it's based off of what census predicts to be them losing their majority minority status. But
Voting
like the year
power, all of that.
20,
But not even just
2048
that.
or something like that.
If they're trying to shut down anything, the people who will protect this country and actually make, like, you know good and well, the white people with guns, if shit hit the fan,
oh, they going.
They going. They the ones who
Motherfucking
going.
Billy.
They the ones who going.
Any nigga that got on overalls right now is fucking going, bro.
They the ones who going. So I think it's a push
That's
to
a
shut
fact,
that down.
bro. That's a fact, bro. You got a beard and some overalls, bro. Going, bro. Fuck it.
Hey,
Motherfucker,
Tone.
Billy and Larry gonna get active, boy.
Hey, Tone,
First,
real
too.
quick. I got a quick question. And then we could probably hop off of this. But this is something I don't know. Somebody was saying this last night, and I just wondered if this is true. When we go to war overseas, do people like is the war in the name of Christianity or in the name of America? Like when we go over to like Afghan.
Hold on.
No clarifying question. I'm just asking that
Tell
simple
me
question.
that. Hold on. He didn't say that it was about religion, did he?
That's Johnny said. Yes. Every time we go over across seas,
Johnny,
like them white folk is killing people in the
How do
name
you
of
believe-
Christianity.
bro. Most of the time that they was talking about killing people in the name of Christianity, it wasn't about Christianity then.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
okay.
don't even make
It
fucking
definitely ain't
sense.
now. We like.
I was wrong, bro. I was off the Johnny Walker. Like,
Oh, man.
okay,
Okay,
like,
all right.
I like.
I give you a pass on it, then. I give
Now,
it.
because I was about to double down on it. Like, I was about to sit here and double down on it. Like, because I was gonna say something about the Crusades, but then I ain't gonna do that. I was wrong.
Yeah,
I was
there's
wrong.
some fake folk too.
I was wrong. I was off the Johnny
Yeah,
Walker.
I would actually like to get into some of these topics for a week. I be y'all don't understand how much I be sitting there like, I'm just gonna shut up right here because we be talking a long time on that.
Hey, bring them joints, bro.
The Crusades and stuff. Yeah, you start looking into some of this stuff in history, you find out a lot. That's where we going.
Johnny.
Nigga, I told you that last night. Let's get into the rock, paper, scissors. See how we
Johnny
go.
had listen. Johnny has forgotten how to host the show. Any quiet moment, Johnny just sit back like me and Real and just be like.
Hey, what messed me up? This man Q over there talking about.
and Johnny still, he was like, "What?"
I thought you were gonna keep on going, but now we get into it. I didn't know you was finished. I didn't know you was finished.
Y'all gonna always keep doing the same thing.
God damn it. You trash, bro. I'm trying to tell you fucking trash, bro. I'm like that. All right, let me chill. How did I know what the we're gonna go Q, me, and Johnny at the end.
All right, say them white women for last. All right, so Tone, I sent you
Hold
a
on, let
video.
me read. No, I want Johnny's now. Well, let's get Johnny first.
Let's get this out the way. Let's just get it out the way.
I forgot that was Johnny Smoke.
Let's just get it
I'll
out
go
the
last.
way.
We'll go Johnny Q.
Y'all been wanting to do
I
like
want to
y'all
hear
been like.
I want to know how you gonna defend it.
It's not a defense.
No. I don't want to. No, don't turn your back on it now.
No, ain't no turning
Not
my
at the
back.
Camera on.
I've been misquoted. I'm gonna say this.
I thought I heard you say snow bunnies are better than black women. That's what I thought I heard you say.
I'm gonna say I have been misquoted.
Q, you heard him say that?
I ain't say
He
that.
said snow bunnies always black women.
This nigga.
Never.
This
Like,
nigga.
that's what I think he said.
Black women far away. That's
He got
it.
the pink cloth with him today too.
Yeah,
This
snow
nigga, I
bunnies
keep my shit
always
on.
black women far
Keep
away.
my shit on. But my question was, and we'll get into it. Like I said, I don't. Y'all ain't caught me with one, so we good. But the question was, cause I got some homies and
passing the blame. Go ahead.
No, I ain't passing it, but they got white women, and sometimes I, be listening to a Dr. Umar shit, and they'll come around, and I'll be like, let me turn this off, because I ain't trying to offend. I don't want to offend nobody. But the question was, what's wrong with the white women, and what's wrong with people that date them? Why is there, such a thing about dating a white woman? That's my question.
What do you think about it? What do you think about your question?
I don't know. I'm on the fence. I mean, I personally think I can see why dating, like I know I like with black women, and I, would want to have kids with a black woman. I want black kids. I don't want to, I want my kids to look like me. I ain't supposed to being white, so it ain't about a self-hate thing, over here. But so I want to be with black women, but if you're not with black women, what's wrong with that? Or that's my question. I don't know.
All right, so I'll try and answer it as like I guess it's serious before we get into like joke land. So one, I guess you're saying what's wrong. If we're speaking specifically, all right, so one, I don't think that there is necessary. Like I don't condemn a person for dating a white woman. His joke's gonna fly always. But if we're speaking though from a community sense, and keeping and growing the black dollar, black wealth, I think that generally the conversation oftentimes ends up going in the transfer of wealth. And more times than not, what is most highly condemned is the black man marrying like a white woman. Because of a lot of times the wealth of that transfer ends up going into the white community. And it's been a hyper focus of wanting the black dollar to circulate, the black community to kind of uplift itself, blah blah blah, like that. That whole general Dr. Umar talking point of it.
Right, but okay, my
so,
thing is,
go ahead.
My thing is like most of our dollars are going back into
the white community
anyway. So like you could say that's the reason, but
no,
like
all right,
so like how is like a black dude dating a white woman?
Gotcha,
I think how is that really keeping?
All right, so what you're talking about is like simple fiscal shit, like what I'm buying, and then we're talking about like the transfer of like assets. That's the bigger thing. Where like say the black, we'll use the exaggerated form of it, but like say the black football player that marries the white woman, and whether like she's going to divorce him and take half of his assets, or the idea that this black man's assets, if he passes, gets passed down to this white woman and then gets left to that white family.
Or what about that mixed kid who's considered black?
Well, I actually think that there's a good conversation around mixed kids to have at some point, but like maybe if the kid is old enough, whatever that whole scenario.
But usually your assets go to your kids.
But first in line is going to be the wife, and then it's the idea again of the ability to take the income from or like garnish the assets of like say black men. Like if we just talk about marriage, we know how many marriages don't last. Like it's a good majority of them. Well, it's over half of them. in which it then is again the transfer of wealth and assets out of the Black community to another community. I think that on a base level of it, that's what it is. Not specifically where we're going to go eat McDonald's at, or where we're going to go shop at Target at, or anything like that. It's the idea of the transfer of assets and wealth.
What's the divorce rate? 50%, 60,
52 something.
52.
Something like that.
So what about the 48% of mixed race couples who don't get divorced?
There's still the concept that who's going to die first, and then where does those assets?
But wouldn't that?
Well, I mean, the man usually die first.
But doesn't the assets get passed to the kid?
Well, I know
isn't that the thing about generational wealth? Is this
No, it doesn't go to the
it goes
kid, it
to
goes
your
to your spouse. If you're married, unless you
and then your
actually-
spouse is going to die, and who's she going to give it to?
No. I'm not debating you, Johnny, because like
that's what I'm saying.
Sure. All right. So if you're saying that like maybe the assets get passed down to the mixed kid, sure, and like hopefully like they keep that within and they marry Black and do that whole entire thing. Maybe cool.
And I'm you done?
Yeah, I ain't really got.
Yeah, to me, honestly, like at the end of the day, the Black is the priority, right? Priority. But I don't care. I don't feel a way for one that deviate. Because I think that like kind of that whole idea of like that the whole keeping it. I think that it's more of an individual thing. If you feel a community, it's an individual community thing. Like if you feel that you just want to be with a Black person, do it. You know what I mean? I think that that's fire. But I don't feel that you being with it, because even if you look at it like the way you said, even if you look at it, the assets, you can always dictate where your assets go. If you do nothing, then they go to your wife. If you do nothing, they go to your wife. You can make sure that they go to where you want them to go to. So I mean, that's not really a thing. It's literally, bro, at this point, and bro, I say be wherever's peaceful.
Can
be
you
wherever's peaceful for you, and that's gonna benefit your psyche to make you not want to jump off the cliff. With it, if that's gonna be a Black woman, she gonna make you not want to jump off a cliff. Rock with it, bro, because you can, you know what I mean, try to build longevity in a relationship. And to me, the thing that to really do is to make sure your kids see love in the household, so that you can give them the best chance of raising a family that has a tight foundation, other than just because color. Now that part right there, like, because there's so many ways you can veer around, and you can tie some bows on some shit and make sure you dot your I's and cross some T's, and you don't have to worry about the money going to all that idea of thing where you leaving your estate and your estate's divvied up and it goes to you. You can do something about that part. But like I said, if wherever you can find peace with, as a man, wherever you can find peace with a woman, and y'all can show y'all children what a healthy relationship looks like, so that they can actually have a leg up in actually recreating that within themselves and within their family structure. I think that that's more important, because then that's how you can actually get some, pass down some wealth, and you know what I mean, you can see these things sustain. Okay, well, we were married, then the thing that they know is marriage and togetherness, then their children shouldn't, you know what I mean, as long as we can keep that intact, it doesn't really matter like the white Black thing. Get a trust, start that family trust, and that bread can stay within the family, and can make sure you can make sure that thing work regardless of white or Black thing. But like I say, as a Black man, I could understand, and I actually tip my hat off, and I rock with, like, my wife's from Africa. She's not Black. I tell her she's not Black, but she's from Africa. So I think that's still two different things. A lot of people try to put it together, but if you date a white woman, marry a white woman, bro, just find what works for you.
Not me. This is a question.
Yeah, look like you're trying to win. Look like he had somebody in mind. And I'm just trying to say,
he was trying to get the okay.
Her, bro, if you love her, bro, I won't even make a joke.
He was trying to get the okay for Megan, bro.
I won't even make a joke.
He was trying to get the okay for Megan.
Yeah.
Let's say I got one more though. I got one more question.
Well, before you go ahead.
If you want to date Megan, you can date Megan, bro.
What's
all
got,
I'm
bro?
saying.
What you got? I'll ask mine later. I can think of it.
I don't know. You kind of made me lose my train of thought. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, because I seen like with Umar,
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree that you can't be pro-Black if you date a white woman? Do you?
I think that it would, like, and this is what I was gonna say. It kind of goes along with it. The question is based off of what you think that is going, what you think is going to be best for the improvement of the Black community. And if you view yourself as a individual and you look inside like a very individualistic mindset, or if you view things inside like a holistic community approach. Depending on what you think and feel, I think that therein lies if it is or if it would be a possible problem or not. And the same difference for that same question that you asked.
In my opinion, I think that the best thing for black people is to fuck with people who fuck with black people to get us to another place. The same way those white people that fuck with black people, that was like one of my homeboys, his mother was married to her. She's a white lady that was married to him. He was a black parent. She coming from Jersey to another state, she had the man in the trunk because they was checking cars and everything. Had the man in the trunk getting them across the, you know what I mean? Like, fuck with people who fuck with us, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of things that we don't want to do. It's just straight flat out. There's a lot of things that we just don't want to do. We've been Americanized. So like I say, I got a lot of Hispanics around me. I wish I could speak Spanish, bro. You know, I'll be in the hood, doggone, politicking with these guys and really moving and shaking some stuff. Bro, we need to fuck with who fuck with us, because a lot of us don't.
So
fuck
it's not
with
community based.
That is still a community. You can call a community.
No, I'm saying like black community based, but like what you're saying is just like whatever your vicinity community is. I understand
No,
what
what
you
I'm
say.
saying
Fuck
is-
with people that fuck with us. What is that?
What
mean?
I'm saying is
I'm saying,
that
but black people, we live in a
that
community
allow-
with other people, though.
Oh no, I get that. That's why I said, how do you view it? Do you see the uplifting of the black community as like a group thing, or is it like each individual's own journey and it's like individualistic?
No, it's a group thing.
Right. All right. So if you're saying fuck with people who fuck with you, but I don't know what that means then. Like
What
that's
I mean,
what I'm asking.
What I'm saying is that it's pretty much is love people that love you, and love people that love you, and love people that love you. So
of course,
essentially,
and you can
so
love. We talked about the fact that you choose who you love.
you do choose who you love, right? So like my thing is that I understand you do choose who you love, but at the end of the day, wherever you get that reciprocation from, if the reciprocation is there, then who cares, bro? It doesn't really matter.
I get that, but you were saying, you made that statement in response to how do you view the upliftment, like or like the betterment of the black community? Is it individual or group based?
And it's group based.
But what you're saying is individualistic.
Based in where?
You're saying love.
I said love who loves you. I understand that that's on a personal level, but the community.
Where's the community aspect to that statement? I guess is what I'm saying.
I see what you're saying. It was a little.
If I was to help you out right there, though, like,
but I gotta. Oh, go ahead.
I like the point you was getting to, and just like, okay, so I was sitting there thinking about like how black people got out of slavery due to abolitionists, partly,
right?
Like, so the benefit, even though it might have been an individual that they was helping, that benefit still resulted to the community event, like on a larger scale.
Yeah, the thing
So
is,
find a white savior.
And I was gonna say,
you saying find a white savior.
You
That's
can
not,
go
that's
to
not
an
where I'm at.
extreme of a thing, or you can just be how you usually are on everything. It's more centrist. The idea that two things can be true at the same time, and
Well, that
all of
was
these
a joke,
centrist
but
ideas.
yeah,
But what I'm saying is that, like, even the thing is that, do you not think that if black people were able to find a bit of if black people were able to be, let's say on a base level, we were just happier. Do you think that happiness? That's why I say love whoever you love. Wherever that happiness comes, make sure that you magnify that happiness so that you can have that happiness trickle down in everything in your life, regardless of where it comes from. Where just happiness, that's going to benefit the black people more than the idea that we can try to think that you're going to pass down these assets to the black woman, and then that right there, bro. It's better to have a foundation as a community. If we have more foundation, more families that are going to stick together, husband and wife, kids being in a more healthy environment, wherever it comes from, I think healthy is the case. It's the best answer is healthy.
Right. I think that is like the answer for like the general question of like, how do you raise better families and better community in general? And that's why I isolated to say like black community, or if you don't, because of, again, I don't know, to me, you still are speaking inside like a very individualistic, like making sure that all things are, and I don't disagree with it. And that's what, like I think that,
what I'm saying,
but it doesn't like it doesn't go with the other questions.
What I'm
like,
asking you is that, do you not
about,
think that more individuals being happy does not make the culture of the community better? You don't think that?
Are you talking about like black community or
The black community? Black community. Do you not think that more stable households and all of these things that will come with just the idea of a 2-parent household makes whether regardless of the race? Do you not think that helps the black community?
Probably, I guess.
I don't think how is it probably if we can
All right,
agree
so-
that 2-parent households are the best
No,
case
I
example,
all right, so
whether they be black or white
okay,
or mixed
and
or whatever.
I'll answer inside this capacity where, like, if you're saying that, right, like tomorrow, the interracial dating rate and marriage of like black men to white women becomes 75%. I don't think that there's really a black community. But is it like if they all stay together and raise happy families, is that beneficial? Yes. Like they're like not mutually exclusive concepts. So like if like what you're saying is still individual because of your like yes, if you have a 2-parent household with a happy family, that will be beneficial. I agree with that.
If the
that has
community
nothing
has
to
more.
do with like what say a Dr. Umar speaks about when
Right,
he
right,
talk
right.
about like actually developing the black community because it's no longer a black community.
Bro,
But what's more important? What's more important?
Like so I'm only answering the question. So like but go ahead.
So I want to ask. So do you think that the savior to the black community is black people choosing black people? That's already been the thing.
Do I think the
That's
savior
already
to
we
the
already
black
done
community?
seen this forever.
I think if there's going to be a black community, black people should choose black people. But I think in general, black people are going to choose black people because everybody dates within their race.
What I'm saying is that like so. I mean that was an easy honest. But what I'm saying is that like and I'm an advocate for what you're saying. But I think that like as far as me thinking outside of myself, which I already done made my decision. I got black kids. But outside of myself, I don't think that we've already seen the generations of
I don't
black
think
people just
interracial
dating black
dating is
people.
like the savior for black.
No, absolutely.
black
I didn't say
community.
that that's the savior.
No,
No,
so
that's the extreme. See, you keep going to like.
All right. So
that's the
what is
extreme.
it?
What I'm saying is that's why I said. That's why I said like what Tone said. Love who loves you. Wherever that happiness, wherever that peace and happiness comes from. That's why he said your question was what's so bad about it, right?
Yeah, what's wrong?
What's wrong with it? So what I'm saying is there's nothing wrong with it. That's the point that I'm making.
Yeah, we all agreed on that.
Okay,
but
but
I keep
go ahead.
When we put in the word black community, it becomes a dividing line. And listen,
So
I
that's
didn't
what I'm
explain
saying.
it like 7 times. I don't think y'all
Even
understand.
so, what I'm saying is that so we're just now seeing, let's say, this influx of black people dating outside of their race, right? This seems to be a thing where we're hearing it talked about more, and it's like this is like the height of it, right? Or would
I
you
don't
say
know
it was
that.
probably wherever it was? But we've seen most of the black people we know, most of the
I
black
don't think
people
it's
we
the
know.
height. I think the height came in the early 70s.
Okay.
But
what I'm saying now, okay, like, I understand that. But what I'm saying is that, but we all as a collective, most of the people we know date black people.
Okay.
And most of our parents, most of our grandparents, we've seen that generationally, we've always that was what we did. So if you're saying that the idea, the best benefit to black people is to date black people, we've already been doing this for a while. And where have we what it has the benefit been passed down to? What do we see? Where are the residuals that didn't have something to do with somebody else like allowing us to, you know what I mean, to thrive and to get to the levels we are? Like I don't think that I think that whole debate, the whole race thing, it's like 2023, bro. It's about a time to really kind of evolve in the mindset of like, bro, what's gonna be the best for out like the community, the people, not just
So let's
black
step away from
communities.
like the idea of the black community.
Bro.
That's what like what you I
Go
don't
ahead.
see how you don't understand like those.
No,
are
I
the
see
two
what you're
different things.
saying.
well, see, I ain't really wanted to get here,
Go ahead.
you know, because this is because
And you also asked a really loaded question because of like the answer opposing would mean
Which was
that,
the loaded question?
Well, or it was just like it's a slanted statement. The idea that we've been unsuccessful as a group because of we dated black.
No, that ain't what what I was saying.
No,
right?
but no. So to answer to answer your question, to oppose it would mean the opposite. That's the way that you set the question up.
Okay, well, I didn't mean to set it up in the way that would be.
No, because you said we dated black all this time, and look where it's got us.
No.
So
Well, I mean to say that if that's the answer, then the answer would have already been gotten.
But
for
I
the
don't think
community
like
already.
to keep a black community, you have to, or any community, Jewish, Irish,
you have to
stay within your community. So that's just an antecedent for the statement. And that's what I keep saying.
But
like
also-
we can't like
so,
talk about
but-
black community
but we
without
also-
it being black family.
But we also have to look at the fact. So do you not believe that if, as a black man, if you have kids with any race of people, that the kids are black?
I think
Do you not believe that?
Well, that we just said that. Well, I said earlier, the mixed kid conversation is an interesting one, and I think that when Kev was here, it ended like we like I said I had that notion, but then I remember also like having a conversation after him, and he said, "Well, we look at them as mixed," and then he also has a mixed woman that he's with. But you also hear a lot of mixed people also take this stance that I'm not black or white, I'm mixed, and that's just what they stand on. And that's like a really, really popular like notion and thing that's happening right now, where there's an acceptance of both sides of the coin, and that just is what it is. Like I previously had thought that, but that doesn't seem to be like the notion of the time right now.
I don't be knowing. Honestly, be seeing, bro, the internet can get us like I don't be knowing what's really going on.
Yeah.
It's like I've not heard a mixed person say like I'm not black. I've not heard that. Like I've seen it on like Dr. Phil and like on like TV and stuff,
Yeah,
but I've not seen
Tiger
that.
Woods said that.
Yeah, okay.
No,
Tiger
I think a
Woods.
lot of mixed
Tiger
people.
Woods said that.
So a lot
for
of
sure.
mixed
Way back in
people
the day.
embrace both sides of their family.
Oh
It
no,
just
no,
kinda-
it's cool to be. I understand embracing it, but like to say like I'm not black, you can embrace both sides and be like, but I mean, you are kind of like you see more people that could go closer as far as skin tone closer to white say that they're black. Then you see darker skinned people say, "Oh, I'm mixed race." I don't know. I just haven't seen it in my personal life.
And what I was gonna say, like I didn't want to, and like I said, the this was supposed to be a little lighter. This was
How is that going to be a light conversation,
Yeah,
Johnny?
I don't
but
So you're in love with it?
no, but what I was gonna say is I understand both sides. Like I definitely understand, and that's why I had the question, because I don't know where I truly lie on it, because
I know where
I understand how you can.
I fuck with the black community, so I have to have a black family, and I believe in some of the black economic and wealth things. So that's where I. Say
But
that.
if you have a white woman, does that mean you don't love your black community? And that's what Dr. Umar insinuates a lot, and I don't know if I.
So
agree
I think
with that.
I think it's twofold.
And that's why I
you
really
can love your black community, but there is a space if you have like if you ascribe to a specific ideology, and this is where like again we can speak about like what is good for all people, but if you ascribe to a certain ideology, there is a line of thinking that goes with it, in which you can't be Pan-African and date a white woman, because there's a direct contradiction to what being Pan-African and the belief system of being Pan-African would be.
And that's like defining what pro-black is. That's the thing. You
Right,
don't
right.
know what
But I was-
pro-black actually means. 'cause
even
this-
back in the-
Pan-African does have a
But I'm saying
even
Pan-African
back in
is
the
a thing, but, like,
Pan-African mean you don't like white people? Like, or you
I think
hate
that
white
it's really direct of keeping things black or African, specifically African, and like anything that's within the diaspora of African kind of works itself out, but it's not diverging into like European.
But see, Rail was just talking about. He said it was a Black Panther who married a white woman.
Yes,
and she was helping him
like,
get out.
literally.
So, like, if you're a Black Panther and married a white woman, you clearly.
Well, I mean, at the end of
But
the
it
day,
was mad Black Panthers.
I was
like
about to say,
that wasn't
Black
what that
Panthers
was.
with
That-
the white women. That was like a
Like,
very.
do,
That's what I was
do
gonna
you
say.
understand that? Like, depending on what you ascribe to, there are like guidelines to what like your ideology is, and then like depending on what the ideology, Black Panther and being Pan African is way different.
But I'm
And-
saying,
and
but
so, like,
it's
if-
a love for your community, though, and I don't. But
So for Dr. Umar, yes, if you ascribe to being
Okay, yeah,
Pan-African, then yes.
okay.
If you saying like can you date a white woman and have love for the Black community? Obviously.
Right. Because there's like a lot of white women that like are diehard, like they don't fuck with all of the systemic. They be dead ass. There are also a good bit of white women that be dead ass against this whole system of all of that shit. Be hot about it too.
Is Dr. Umar still building his school?
Yeah,
Yes.
they was talking about the school earlier. I was listening to him talk about it.
Yeah, I actually, well, yeah, he did talk about it. He was saying, I think, like they're just going through all the clearances right now. The school is built, and they're like making sure the insulation is right. They're having the contractors, not contract, the inspectors come out, and that's where it's at. I think Wilmington, Delaware.
I'm looking forward to seeing this thing unravel. Honestly, I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, I'm looking.
I want to see it. Tone sound like a hater, bro.
Nah,
It's a lot of these little, you know what I mean? A couple of these black folk that really been wanting this nigga to fall, bro. They really tired of hearing him talk
it ain't
about.
the thing of wanting to fall.
Hey,
It'd
don't
be
worry,
like
he about to be even. He's gonna be mad
Hey,
at Umar.
when the school really dropped, they gonna be sick.
Don't let the graduation and
I'm waiting
SAT
for
rate
it.
be high.
I'm saying I've been waiting for it since 2013.
He was talking about well, how long you think? Okay, but he was talking about the like the school in Akron that LeBron went to, his whatever you want to call it, and they was talking about, bro, they haven't had an eighth grade like they said. He said there's not been an eighth grade male to pass the mathematic whatever they call EOG thing in 3 years.
Who, in LeBron's school?
In LeBron's school. He said LeBron done put millions of dollars into the school, which is not his school. It's just the school that he graduated from that they, kind of put as LeBron's
Context
school.
matters. I think that, like, I don't know much about the school, but like, let's say that LeBron is inside he decided to get a school in Title I area in which.
Hold on, I'm talking about it's not his school. The school that I'm talking about is not his school.
Oh, it's not LeBron's
It's the school that he went to.
Yeah,
he
must be talking about like in elementary or something.
No. They said eighth grade, so that's middle school.
Well, all right, because I'm about to say he went to St. Vincent St. Mary's. They graduate, motherfuckers. But I don't know where LeBron went to middle school.
Oh, that's crazy. I didn't even catch on to the fact that he said eighth grade until just now
That's
when we
a
were talking
middle
about it.
school,
Because he said eighth grade, but eighth grade start in. I mean, a lot of high school started eighth grade too, right?
No, it's ninth grade here, unless it's junior.
No, it's ninth grade here. But go ahead.
But yeah, I think we did all right.
That was,
I think we did that shit. It grew.
Hey, and by the way, I fuck with the black community. I'm with if you're gonna make the decision straight out, like I believe that you choose to love who you love. Like I said, I believe you choose it, right? At the end of the day, the people that choose black love, I think is the most, the most beautiful. But I do not condemn or look down or think that it's something that should be, it's not a big deal. You found love somewhere else, or you chose to love a different thing, then that's up to you.
Ain't your marriage interracial technically?
I guess it is technically interracial. She's from Eritrea.
I was about to say that too. Yeah.
Well, she's from either way. She's Eritrean and I'm black. So I don't know the African and the African American or however you look. I guess that is interracial.
If you Pan African, it works.
Well, I'm not Pan African.
Well,
I'm not looking to work. I'm fine without working. Without it works for other motherfuckers, I'm cool. I don't really care, bro.
You said you're fine with what?
Without it working for other motherfuckers.
If his woman was white, I don't care what y'all talking about.
If you're paying African, it works. Well, I don't care if it works or not. I'm cool. That's what I'm saying. The same thing. If you date another person from another, I don't care, bro. I'm cool.
Nah,
yeah, they look.
I get it.
Oh yeah.
All right.
So who next?
Oh, who was next? I
think it's you.
It was me. Okay. So my question, as y'all can see, I came in my work day attire. Was helping me and my pops putting the roof on today, so I got tar and shit, cement all on me. And so when I went to Charles Schwab, just like Financial Jones, TD Ameritrade, which is where I had my accounts with as far as brokerage. They merged with Charles Schwab, so I went to Charles Schwab Bank, and it was a black girl at the counter, and I go in wearing pretty much the same thing. Me and old head both, we went in, we was wearing pretty much the same thing. And I was having a conversation with her. Well, actually, I just went out and asked. She seemed cool. I was like, I said, why is it that it seems like our generation looks down upon this reflective appearance? And it kind of like threw it. First, she was like, I don't think we do we? Oh, no, matter of fact, she didn't say I think we do. She said, do we? And just paused for a minute. And I'm like, yeah, when we walked in here, there are stereotypes that come with everything. Regardless of what you look like, there's a stereotype for that select subset of people. So when you walk in with this, it automatically is looked upon as like I don't know, maybe the broke connotation comes up, or the maybe not as smart. You know what I mean? I guess when you wear this, it's like, oh, you're not as an intellectual as the people that type on the keyboards, and you're like a little slower. So where my question was, where do you think it comes from to where we would almost push the blue collar? I guess this is called blue collar. Blue collar is not based in amount earned. It's based in job title, right?
Like the physical labor,
of the job. Okay, so why do you think we almost like frown upon blue collar workers in today's society, especially in our generation? It seemed like before, like my mom's generation, I think that they loved it. That was like a man's thing, and then now it's like it's gotten so much like more degraded since then. What do you think
it's lack of exposure to people that's actually doing it and doing it well. I think like most time when you see somebody working in a construction job or new people, they're usually, just starting at the construction job. They're not the boss of the, construction company. So you equate construction with worker, not boss.
Well, I
You
mean,
you don't look at it as a
the
high.
boss man don't wear these motherfuckers either. Though.
But sometimes the foreman comes out there and on certain jobs, even if you're working there, there's people that's making different type of money. Not everybody on there is on the same pay grade.
No, for sure.
There's people that's really making some dollars, and then there's people that's just hourly contract that just there to help sweep up once the real work done.
Yeah.
So people kind of look at that last like that's everything that goes on. There's a lack of exposure to the industry. You don't really know. Because it's like if even with like my job, I've sold cars to people that this right here, and buku bread. I'm like, oh, okay, you making money, you got some bread, and you look like that. I've also seen people come in full T and they broke as hell, bankruptcy, and they can't finance shit. So I've learned to not look at that, and because you don't know nobody's circumstance, that's just what they doing. But I think without that exposure to it and actually really seeing, I would probably feel the same way.
Yeah, I can't even lie. Like when I remember because before I was in the banking industry, so of course I wasn't wearing this. I was wearing the hard bottoms and all of that stuff every day. And the thing was I got to feel both sides of it. So like being there and then presenting that way, and then coming over here and then presenting this way, like where you got dirt under your fingers. You know what I mean? You're definitely looked at differently. Like so, like the idea would be like if I went to a different branch that I'm used to going to, like and I was wearing my hard bottoms and everything. When I come in, they're going to give me salutation.
Yeah,
sir, how you doing, sir? You know what I mean? The Mr. Fluker, all of this, the way that you kind of the thing is, and then when you wear this, they're still nice, but they're not like
they'll put that Mr.
And then you ain't getting the salutations and all of these different things. They don't necessarily look at you like you're on the same level as them, so to say.
I mean, but that happens with anything, though. I mean, you can see a bad woman with like a business suit on, thick, and you walk in, and you like, all right, but you see the same woman with the Daisy Dukes. The chicks
so you saying that this is the equivalent to Daisy Dukes? No, bro, that's disrespect. That's disrespect right there.
I ain't saying that, but I'm saying the appearance. Like people naturally judge. I ain't saying it's right. I ain't saying you should treat they both women.
You saying the reality of it is that we look like women with motherfucking.
No, I'm saying, but that's wrong. You saying well, this is.
I don't even want to talk about this shit.
Johnny said if it look like a goose, it damn sure ain't a chicken. If it look like a goose, it damn sure ain't a chicken.
But it's that's wrong. Up, people shouldn't do it. I ain't saying it like that. But we look at women differently based on what they wear, right or wrong.
I don't think so too much. Well, I mean, if you talk about like it depends.
Based on what they wear, you gonna look at them different.
Occupationally, though. Come on now, you go into like what you're doing in your free time. This is at work attire.
But you was talking about going like it's a little bit of a difference.
It's a bit of a stretch Armstrong.
But people are gonna judge based off appearance. It's just the thing.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that.
It ain't like it's wrong, but you understand where it come from.
So let me ask you this: at what level at work does this for the woman? Like, because we know most women don't really wear this. Just even at what I do, I look and there are a couple of women there that do it, but it's not like in like a 50-50 thing. So if you see the dude, what is the female equivalent to this? What does she work? What is the female equivalent?
I was about to say waitress, but nah, they ain't even.
I mean, I guess maybe you would say waitress. I think because you wouldn't say fast food because the fast food there is like a specific, like lower denomination to it.
Nah, fast food better. Fast food is a good example.
What was you talking about?
No, it's just funny because honestly, like before
I think waitresses is best because of waitresses also like depending on where you work at, where you waitress at, you can make a lot or a little.
No, for sure.
And I think
that's
that like the answer to your question is simply the fact that most people and like not even most people, the construction job and any job that has a lower barrier of entry is typically going to be looked down upon or it's going to be judged quicker. And so a lot of people with reflective wear in construction in general, it's a low barrier of entry. But with things with low barrier of entry, there's a vast range of income that can come with that. So as much as like reality is also the minority of people that have reflective wear that come into places and have, you know what I mean, like as you are right now, is going to be high earning people. I think the majority of that field, and it's a majority of most fields, especially low entry fields, are going to be low skilled workers that are kind of doing a job at the moment and then probably end up pivoting to something else.
I ain't gonna go too far, but go too far into it because I don't know if this really has real legs or not. Well, I don't feel like it has real legs. But the one thing I will say is that like we know police officers, being a police officer is low barrier of entry. Just a high school diploma. You can go from McDonald's to being a police officer.
I don't think niggas think police officers make a lot of money.
But I'm saying
they usually like that's like the first insult. That
but there's also a level of respect that comes with it that's different than like I'm pretty sure. I at the end of the day, at entry, I only been in this field a couple. I make more than a police officer.
Should have said teacher because I don't respect.
Like, yeah, but I don't even think like police officers like referees. Niggas hate them.
Teachers, teachers is a low wage job that people have a lot of respect for
sure.
Teachers,
I agree. I'd agree. Now, but I make more than teachers.
Yeah, exactly. But you got respect for them. Way more respect than you do 12.
Do you do this? That's what I'm saying. Like we
people
gotta
respect 12. It's just a
I respect 12, bro. I think that the whole idea of niggas
12. You
hate the
trying to
police
get
is
pulled over,
stupid,
like niggas be sitting there, yes sir, and everything,
My
bro.
thing is,
Every time, bro.
So you're driving with no insurance, and then you fuck the police, nigga. You didn't have insurance, bro. It's just part of the law, bro. The fuck, and then you smoking the blunt too.
Yeah, well, I mean that's just stupidity. But I'm just saying there is a disdain that's risen over the last 10 years for policing. Like that's just.
I don't have a
It's not even. It's not even like testing.
It's past 10 years. I get it.
Yeah, it's way longer.
I think that it
Well,
actually
it's gotten worse
should have gotten
since
better
like what
since back in the day. I think it should have gotten better.
what was the one in St. Louis? For Ferguson,
Gray.
since Ferguson, that was like the Trayvon,
Mike Brown.
Trayvon Martin, and all. Like it's gotten worse since
Yeah, the
then.
wave.
Like that's all I'm saying. It's definitely gotten worse. People have been.
That's
all I'm saying. But
if it had gotten better, you think black people would say it's gotten better?
Hey, no, I was saying this a couple of episodes ago, bro. I appreciate
bro,
if you look in Charlotte, bro, I've seen many police officers changing tires for people on the side of the road. I've seen that many times. I drive all day, like I see that all the time.
Motherfuckers record themselves playing basketball with them kids too.
Yeah,
I don't care if you record yourself. Let it. We need to see it. Record yourself.
You should.
We need to see it.
You should. The only
it's
videos of police shouldn't be of them shooting niggas.
That shouldn't be the only videos we see, though. Absolutely not.
That shouldn't be the
My
only
point is
videos.
that there is a public image crisis that the police had over the past like 10 years, and they're intentional about making sure that they repair that in general.
Oh, they got to. They have to.
Yeah, and that's all I was saying. I think they are working on it, but their image has definitely been damaged.
Because the thing is, you got to think about it. The police force is necessary. I don't think there's nobody in here that would disagree with that.
That's what I was
thinking
about. I don't even want to defund the police.
The way that we sit in here and talk about the way our community feels about, so what, we're gonna just have no black police officers? Do we feel like that's better, or do we believe that like the police population should continue to decrease to where we don't have them, or what is niggas not fucking with the police?
Well, no, it's not. People don't fuck with them.
I think you were just talking about like your question, your statement was respect. I don't think that most people don't even think that there should be less police officers.
Yeah,
and like they call the police and all that. We're just talking about like, do people fuck with them? Like, is that a job that people like be happy to see that?
And the reason people don't fuck with police is because a lot of police take their authority to their head.
I'm sorry,
and that's why they don't have a lot of respect.
People fucking with you and people respecting you is two different things in my book. That's just how I
know that is two different.
Like you can be respected and people don't like you.
For sure.
Okay.
Well, okay, maybe people just don't like them. They respect them, but they don't like them because you kind of
you ain't got no choice. Or you want to get locked
up? Exactly.
Well,
but
I mean, a lot of people don't respect them, and you can see those people.
But the reason is not only the police shootings, but it's a lot of cops because they're low, and it's a thing with their mindset. The psychology of police is studied. A lot of them like come from low earning families. A lot of them never been in charge or anything. They got bullied and they become a police officer. Now they got a badge and a gun, and you can talk to people any kind of way. And people don't respect that person. And a lot of time, a lot of cops are that person. The little motherfucker you ain't like in high school, and that's why I said that not because we don't need them or it's not an important
Yeah,
job.
I think we was
It's
going
just
into
the
a space that
person it is. That's all I was saying.
Okay, yeah, no, I agree with everything you said.
All right, bet. I'm gonna clear that up before before I go back out here on these Charlotte streets.
So
how does that tie back into, I guess, the statement
question.
about
Okay, we kind of it doesn't really tie. Well, we were just saying, well, but I
we were
brought.
talking about appearance and respect and how we view certain jobs and professions.
No, I get that. I was just giving him the alley-oop to wrap it up. That's what I was throwing him that.
Yeah, no,
Johnny stepped on it. The perfect segue that I gave you. And just
well, it's not even that serious to have a whole. It's not even the whole thing. Only thing I think there's like it's just funny to see being on one side, being on the white collar side, and then choosing to be on the blue collar side, and having to live in both sides of it. It's just funny to see how people move around you. It's funny to see how people move around you. It honestly, it tells a lot about society and about what we believe a thing is based in things we don't even know. You know what I mean? You believe that this person presents a way, man. We all like, bro. A lot of people out here faking, bro. You can look. It's a lot of niggas walking down Sugar Creek right now with Jordans on, bro. Got the best, coolest walk and all kinds of shit.
We gotta get you off of Sugar Creek.
It's a lot of people walking.
Any nigga that's walking, it don't matter how cool your walk is.
It don't matter what I'm saying is that
it's a dub. Please don't,
bro. You a crazy nigga if you ain't got no car. You put your J's on to walk 3 miles to the store. You a crazy nigga.
What I'm saying, it's not even Sugar Creek to be the thing. What I'm saying is that it's a lot of people. It's more people walk. It's probably. I'm willing to bet there's probably more people walking wearing. Well, more. I'm gonna say black people that's walking wearing Jordans than there is that. Well, I ain't gonna say. Do you know how many? It's a lot of us walking wearing Jordans. It's a lot of us
Jordans
walking.
are cheap compared to a car payment month.
Yeah, but that's not the.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree to that.
But the point that I was making, the point that I was making is that it's a lot of us trying to project.
Maybe
trying to project something that is not that we aren't or that we can't, that we don't live. We're all projecting. Look at social media. We're all projecting. So don't get lost in this this fucking circus. Don't get lost in the circus, because I mean, especially when you look at it now, shoot, you can't even have animals in the circus. So niggas is doing tricks. You don't know which one making what and who doing what. Niggas is just doing tricks out here, bro.
So I ask you this: should it not be more value? Should you not be more appreciative that the people that like inside like the uniform that you're in, prejudgment is coming, and with that, it gives an easy identifier of like who are good people and who's not, based on how they actually treat you, because they're not treating you off a judged idea that you got something. So the people that are actually nice to you are actually good people. The people that are assholes or judge or look down, these are people that are probably over the long run, they was going to end up showing themselves to you anyway. So this is it sounds like you almost like one up in the vetting stage of it.
Well, no.
Whether it's friendship or whatever.
But I don't believe, and you know something too. Like I don't believe that any woman that doesn't want to date a dude wearing this is a bad person.
Well, I didn't know we were talking about dating. I think we were talking about like people and how they
in general.
Yeah,
just because the thing is, we all stereotype.
Nah, but
what are you talking about? Like people like not fucking with you,
wanting to date somebody and being nice to somebody.
Yeah.
Being nice. And that's why I thought
how they treat you regardless.
Yeah, that's what you were talking about.
I see.
Yeah, good people is supposed to treat you good regardless of how you dress, and that's something I even check myself on. Like,
yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, like I say, like you say, something that you check yourself on. I think that we all, regardless of what, bro, we there are people that we see looking a certain way that we decide not to talk to, and if they look another way, it's just we're human. We're human, and at the end of the day, I understand, and I don't mind it. I thought it was interesting to see the dynamic of both. When you can go from one, you could be in banking and then go to the reflective side and make more money than the nigga that's in the bank. But I'm not saying whatever. I don't care about the money part, but I'm just saying that like it's just that societally we kind of lost in like social media and like all of this.
Well, we caught up on looks. We care about what it looks like more than what it actually is.
We lost it. But yeah, that was, so I thought it would be interesting.
A lot of people, like I said, a lot of people rather like you say, be super clean and put on the suit and
I was
you
him.
know go
I was a lot of
and not but you feel good because you got the shit on.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not worth it. You'd much rather dress like that and have it
Right.
than be clean
Then
and
I
not.
get to save my clean clothes too, like my shit. I ain't got to. But go ahead, Doc.
Well, yeah, I think you got one for us.
Cool. I don't know, I guess we actually brought his name up often. I'll actually love us to react to a conversation me and Johnny ended up watching. What is it called, Johnny? Unpacked on the way. Where
Like
if you can go to the 1 hour and 13 mark, it's gonna be two small little segments that I think would be really, really fun to get a conversation out of. And I love to pick y'all brains to kind of see how y'all feel. You can start from there, I guess. This is gonna be quick, and then we'll go to. I put both of the timestamps inside group, y'all. So.
Said hour 13, right?
Yeah, hour 13, and then an hour 15 and 40 seconds, 30 seconds, something like that.
Center of African people, where he was taught, studied, and groomed into African spirituality. Where was Christ from 7 to 30? Where was he at? Studying traditional African spirituality at the feet of our ancestors. That's where Jesus was. Everything in his Bible was stolen, borrowed, and plagiarized from traditional African spirituality. Why do I need a carbon copy bootleg religion when my ancestors left me the original?
I think that there's a lot of passion.
So stop there and then go to 15 and 30 seconds.
Be respectful, but because both of y'all human beings. It ain't got nothing to do with the fact that he belongs to this religion and that belongs to.
A lot of those
more people have died in the name of Jesus and Muhammad than any other cause in the history of mankind. Are you aware of that? Let me say that one more time. More people have been killed over Jesus and Muhammad than every other cause of death in human history. How in the hell can religion be a unifying factor?
I feel like when people cannot separate one emotion behind another, that's what a conflict.
I'm coming from another way. You know where I'm coming from? I'm coming from black people are older than Jesus, older than Abraham, older than Noah, older than Muhammad, older than Moses. We're older than all of that. So why we even got to unify through religion, which a lot of us don't believe in because we got our own spiritual system. Why we using religion? Use culture. Use culture. We're the oldest people in the world. We have a 250,000-year-old culture or older. Why are we unifying through something that has only brought division to the world? Christianity has only brought division to the world. Islam has only brought division to the world. They have killed, they have conquered, and they have covered up. Why are we using that? We have culture. We have ways of dealing with each other and dealing with God that far predate this 2,000-year-old.
I want to end this
religion.
and move on to the next thing.
Why are we
because
dealing
we
with
keep
religion
saying
for?
no Christian would
You
kill.
brought it up.
No Christian would kill.
He said no Christian would kill.
No, Christians don't kill. You know, so. You know.
Have you ever heard of the Crusades? Christians don't kill. What is he talking
Christians,
about?
man. Those are not Christians.
What is he talking about?
Those are not Christians. Yeah,
Christians don't
and
kill.
People like him use it.
Christians
Those
don't
are
kill.
Can you please stop? My son is asking me a question. I want to explain it to him now.
Yeah, but you said a blatant lie, brother.
Stop.
Christians don't lie. You just lied. You just lied.
Pause this for a second. Pause this for a
At
second.
the end of this. But yeah, I think that in itself leads to multiple places. I'd love to get y'all commentary. I thought that he made a bunch of interesting points, and it ended up landing at the idea of culture versus religion. And he made a couple of points earlier inside the conversation where he spoke about how unifying Black people, in which I guess after our interracial dating conversation, I don't know, like if we fuck with the Black community or not. I don't know. But if we're talking about like uplifting the Black community or whatnot, he spoke about how generally the one way there's never been any version of ability to come together is through religion. And he gave the idea of like from Garvey to Malcolm X to whoever, like Garvey was Christian, Malcolm X was Muslim. But they all came to the realization that, hey, for us to actually progress as a group, we have to leave religion to the side and actually talk about the thing. And if we don't put religion to the side, we're going to be divided by that specific thing over and over and over and over. I'll toss it into the air and allow y'all to.
I'll let you go because
I kind of just, as I was sitting there watching it more so, I just thought of a question here. What was he speaking that was so much better than the religions that he was speaking about? Like, what about culture?
I would say that what he was speaking was, and I mean, at the end of the day, even if you were a Christian or if you're not, or you're Islam, I think that if you just take what he's saying and just listen to it, like, I'm not a person that even if I don't believe it, doesn't mean that what you're saying doesn't make sense. Like what he's saying to me makes sense. Like if you say that, if we know for a fact the thing that continuously has divided people, let alone black people, would be based in Christianity and Islam, like we know how many people, like that's the thing. Like, okay, if we can get rid of that part, if it depends on what your goal is. See, if your goal is just to get black people together on one accord, then that's one thing. But if your goal is to try to, like, as far as like we want to do what we believe the higher power wants us to do, the creator, if we're trying to please the creator, if we have ideas about doing that, then that's going to be completely different. Because we can get along as a community. It doesn't have to go
Division's
through
always going to come.
It doesn't have to go through like a religion for the community to get together and be able to have a formidable community. We can be fine as a community without religion. But if we're actually thinking about like trying to get to a place after life, or if however you believe in it, however your belief system goes, if your goal is to get to a heaven, or if your goal is to, you see what I'm saying? There's a difference in we want a great black community and we want to go and please God.
Okay, so
that's different. That's two different things. So if you want to
but that's community and individual again.
You said that's community and individual.
Yeah. You spoke like he was speaking about black community. When you talk about like your relationship with God and your religion, because he also says that he's for anybody practicing in whatever religion, and that is the individual side of it.
No, what I'm saying, I can hear what you said. What I'm saying is that the only thing I'm saying is that it depends on what your goal is. If your goal is to,
he was speaking. Well,
if your goal is to bring your community to being, if your goal is to bring your community to being, we can have a great relationship and a great relationship amongst each other, and our community is great.
I think that's a side.
Community. If you're talking about growth of the community, if it's all based in like growth in the American lands, trying to get resources and trying to build yourself on this land type of thing, then you can have that outside of religion. But if you're talking about trying to be a better people for in God's eyes, regardless of, you know what I mean, what you call God, if that's what you're looking for, then it's going to be something different. Then because this stuff, we don't have to have like all of these additional rules and all of this stuff.
Okay, but then there has to be like one individual religion, or that's literally what a fight.
Or there has to be one person that talks to God to tell us what he wants.
No.
Because everybody gonna have a different interpretation.
What I'm saying is that if either you have a community of people that are, you don't have to have a community of black religious people to have a community of black successful.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to differentiate the two, put them on two different sides. Is that like you can have a successful black community as it relates to like the worldly things. We can acquire a lot of things, and that doesn't require religion. But if you're looking to have if the community is looking to be rooted in some type of belief structure that is a beyond us and a beyond this world, then that will require a different set of things. You see what I'm saying?
I get that.
That these are like, it depends on what your goal is. So I don't think one answers like that.
I think that. So maybe one of y'all know this. Is there a point in history where black people was a great nation outside of a God, not believing in any God?
What do you define as like
like not believing in any God? Most of the black nations I know.
Let's rewind real quick. So again, he wasn't like speaking any version of like an atheist ideology. I think that he said, and what he was speaking about is like what are us as black people inside America to get ourselves out of like quote unquote, whether you like his whole thing is like systematic racism,
right.
The like, you know what I mean, like all the different things that come within that, like the kids and their low performance rates, building up the black community. Like again, like the Title I areas come from low income neighborhoods. How do we get these things better? That is the guise of what he's talking about.
Right.
But if you're talking about like religion, there's been multiple religions in Africa that black people have had civilizations under that were Christian, Islamic, and traditional African system. It's not been like one specific religion. And again, like I don't think that was his point. Again, he's not like preaching an atheist ideology, but to pretend as though black people haven't did anything also outside of Christianity or under the guise of religion would be really false. I mean, shit, they like.
I wasn't even saying that. I'm just saying
the Shaka Zulus.
Can anybody name something?
They beat what was it?
I don't really know that much about Africa, but I mean, I imagine like the Egyptians, they had gods, but I don't know if there was any set. Like,
yeah, they had a whole set of gods that they was worshiping, and we see
but
how
does
they
that mean?
turned
But
out.
does that mean they had a religion?
Yeah, that's what I think.
Because you had gods, does that mean?
But then that's just like, because so your question, the opposing answer to it would be that like there had to been atheist black communities or like nations, but none of the like African countries were atheist, so they all were under a religion. So the answer is yes.
Or spiritual, not necessarily a religion as we see it, just a spiritual base.
I get the word game, spiritual system, like ideology. They believed in some level of
when
like
you say
afterlife
religion,
gods.
when you say religion, we all think of the dominant religions of the society. So like,
I don't.
I ain't even thinking there.
I don't think that. I think that there's so many different religions. There's hundreds of religions, literal hundreds of religions, and how you would define out religions, but spiritual systems, religions, it doesn't really matter. Like I think
when we talk about religion, like we're talking about the flaws of the three big religions in today.
I'm really just trying to get down to the point of Umar was talking about how African spirituality and Christianity just carbon copied this and all of that stuff. If it's a carbon copy, then why we don't see no evidence of like this stuff that he's saying? Where are these so-called like? Matter of fact, let me reverse let me change the question. If it's a carbon copy, what is wrong with the Bible? If it's a carbon copy of African spirituality, then what is wrong with the Bible?
I think
this is a great fucking question. Umar wasn't. You know what I mean? If it's a carbon copy of what's being said in the Bible is a carbon copy of what the African spiritual system was based on beforehand, before Christianity existed, then what's the problem with the Bible? Same thing.
He didn't have an issue with.
No, I'm just talking about that statement
was,
right there. Just that statement. I ain't saying that was just. He definitely said it's a carbon copy of it.
If because right now you're asking us to jump into the brain of Umar, right?
Maybe he didn't mean to say it that way. Is that
well,
what you're saying?
If he said carbon copy, because he
said carbon copy.
Sure, and
he
also,
might not have literally meant.
Yeah, and
no, but this
because
he also talked
because he also talked
this
about how
argument be made all the time.
He also talked about how it's a bastardized version of it. He also speaks about like how the book of the Bible today is diluted and translated and like blah 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 blah.
Then why he ain't following none of it? That's what I'm saying. He not following none of the African spirituality stuff he talked. Most black people not.
I think that he's not none of those three, but he said like he believes in supreme consciousness of something. He has some level of a spiritual system, in which, like, I don't know. I guess I don't know.
Oh no, you said he believes in supreme consciousness of something. I thought that was funny.
Well, that was the word that he like, he said that he didn't.
Bro, it wasn't nothing to like laugh at your points or anything. Go ahead.
Oh no, I guess I get it, but never mind. It's not even worth kind of like diving deep enough into. But. What was your question? You're speaking about Dr. Umar and ask the question again. I kind of got derailed.
Oh, nah, basically what it came down to is I'm trying to understand that he was saying everything like he was uplifting African spirituality basically and saying we have our own culture and all of this stuff. So if that is the case, why ain't black people succeeding following that? You get what I'm saying?
I don't.
Like if it's such a viable solution.
I don't know what version of a conversation we're having, so I'm just kind of just telling.
Well, no, I think Tone. I think the issue is what like there's nothing wrong with the Bible. Like your question kind of like my question. What's wrong with what? He's like, what's wrong with the Bible? There's nothing wrong with the Bible if that's what you choose to believe in. But what he's saying is there are other ways to salvation outside of just religion. And we've done that outside of these religions. And so we don't necessarily need those religions. Black people were successful before Christianity was a thing. So he's like, why do we need Christianity now? And you can use it. There's nothing wrong with it. And he's not telling people not to do it, but he's saying there's also another option. And what's wrong with, and he even spoke on it earlier about people like,
that's not what he's saying. He said, do what you want to do, but when it's time to talk business, let's leave that aside and actually handle business.
Right, and not bring that into business. And so, yeah, you can do what you want to do, but he even also said like a lot of Christians are narrow-minded and they only think that their way is the only way.
Well, that's okay. So this is a topic I actually wanted to get into, but I'm not going to get into it. We're not going to get into it this week. I would like to talk about this topic, but the reason that a lot of Christians think it's the only way is because all the other religions they all refer back to Jesus in some type of way. And then in the Bible, Jesus say he the only way. So if everybody else say, yeah, Jesus is the way too, and then he say, well, I'm the only way, wouldn't it make sense for me to follow that route?
I don't know. Probably.
I'm like, literally, like all these other beliefs, they all speak about the same, they speak about Jesus. Like the Hindus talk about it, the Buddhists talk about him, the Muslims talk about him, everybody talks about Jesus. In the Bible, he say he the only way. They say, yeah, you can go to Jesus and somebody else. So I'm gonna listen to the person who say he the only way.
But everybody else says you can go this way or that way, but this is the only religion that says you can't do any other religion. I mean, I think that's I don't know. I wouldn't agree with. That's all I'm saying. All the other religions.
I'm building up a conversation here for another week. So just know that I'm keeping some receipts here on some of the stuff y'all saying.
Oh,
just keep in mind.
Oh, but okay, that's fine.
Because I'm building up a conversation and it's really just on the terms of I want y'all to even think about it. What do you really believe in? If you don't believe in God and where do you believe? What do you believe is happening after you die? Like everything.
Nobody said they didn't believe in God, but it's just how.
Or well, how do you believe? I'm curious about like how do y'all believe in what it is that you believe?
I believe more than one thing can be right. Like I think just because you're Christian and that's the one way, but I also believe there's a lot of people on the other side of the world that ain't never read a Bible and I don't think they go into hell when they die.
That's not what the Bible say though.
Like I say, I think they all have validity. I think there's space for all religions.
I don't think we serve a God that would punish somebody for ignorance, like that they didn't have access to. I don't think like the Bible doesn't say that. Like the people who go to
I think
hell
that we never even got into like the actual question. Right now, like we've dove into like a Bible versus African spiritual system, in which we never actually. And I guess maybe for you, it sounds like religion over culture.
I really
and
was
culture
trying to
and
talk about what he said in the video. Like I was basing it off of it.
I thought that his main point that he kind of wrapped it to was the idea that culture versus religion, in which typically if we're going to build the Black community, we should look at culture before religion. Not saying that you shouldn't practice any religion, and whatever your religion is, like you should be good to do it. But to progress as a people, we should lean on our culture and we should develop stronger culture.
Okay, so I guess what my next question would be, where's the strong foundation in culture? That's really the original that's a better way of asking my original question, I guess. Like, where's the strong foundation in culture?
Like today in America? Is that what you're asking? Or like, are you talking about like historically?
Yeah, like what's the foundation?
Well, I think that what he's saying is that that would be the thing that would help turn us to actually progress.
So saying like going back and figuring out what the culture was like. So many, I mean, as many years.
Or I mean, like whether you want to lean, I can't speak for specifically Dr. Umar. This is why I just threw it up to us to actually have the discussion.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of hard to like translate his thoughts because we're asking like, what did he? But whether he's speaking about like way back when, where like Africa has again like 250,000 years, there has been civilizations that have lived there from upper to lower to east to west Africa successfully, and there's multiple different versions of systems in which Black people have thrived in. So whether we're talking about going to research that and what actually worked, and I like the general idea of like black you could say Ubuntu. It's a well, yes, like even like that concept of that word, but like there is a lot of things in which traditionally as black people, like we're not even like traditionally like a capitalistic group, like we're not a traditional greedy group because we come from the land of everything.
Resources, yep.
Like there's certain things that are within our culture traditionally. If you go back further, but again, to me, what I take it as is that the culture as a black community in general, and what we strive for, what we value, what we validate, as a community, strengthening that over specifically like bickering about like what religion and what you believe,
right.
X, Y, and Z. Even the idea of like it be whole like Christian verses, but between like the like all the different little sects of shit. Islamic verses that you'll see that he like most of that shit is just fodder for division and it's the opiate of the masses, as what's his name? Karl Marx said.
Yeah, I think that if you let it divide the people, to me, bro, I learned a lot.
It only divides.
That's what it always
okay,
has
so
done.
I get. I think that if
You do not agree with that tone.
100%.
I got a question.
Jesus said,
like, does this happen? Funny, but okay, so. Are y'all talking about in America or overseas?
Everywhere.
Historically, everywhere.
It's not even
okay, so where's the proof of that in America? Because I haven't seen it. So I'm asking like genuinely because I have never seen where I have not seen Muslims arguing with Christians in America.
But they were burning crosses in people's yards, bro.
Like, okay, so that's some Ku Klux Klan members that was
religion.
Okay, so that's what we're not gonna do. That's not religious based, bro. They can sit there and dog.
I don't know.
Okay, so this is my whole thing.
How is it not religious based?
This is my whole thing. I can get up right now and smack. Listen to what I'm saying. I can get up right now.
Religious symbols. They were religious symbols. How you gonna say it's not religious?
Bro, I can get up right now and smack Quintel and say it's in the name of Johnny P. And you didn't have nothing to do with it. Do you get what I'm saying? So you can have people who sit there and talk about, yeah, in the name of Christianity, I'm doing this.
That's a crazy out to give yourself at any point in time.
It's not no out.
No matter what you did,
That
I
was
feel
a
like
funny
that.
example, though.
That's a crazy out.
But I'm saying,
hold on, but you hear what he's saying, though. Like at the end of the day,
oh no, I think that's like
that's a valid point.
The concept is crazy because then there's nothing that like nothing can like. If you can say that no matter what happens,
there's no accountability in it.
Like, no matter what happens.
Beyond where I was talking about, but go ahead.
No,
I was just talking about the idea that like what he says, like just because the fucking KKK was burning crosses, it would be different if the black people that were burning crosses was like
they had preachers there.
But hold on, but they were probably practicing about the same thing, weren't they? During that time,
that don't mean that's what the Bible say, bro. The Bible don't say that. The Bible say love people, so they was not doing that.
What did you think they were Muslim?
Who? What? You said what?
During the time where where these crosses are being burnt in these people's yards, which is the black people, what religion do you think that they are?
The people that were
getting the crosses burnt in their yard, like, the black people.
They were Christians. Yeah, they didn't have no Muslims.
So it wasn't religion based. That's the only thing I'm saying. He's saying it's not pitting one religion against the other. This is all infight. It wasn't based in religion. It was based in
like
what racism is based
like
in.
Doing harm in the name of religion doesn't only mean that it has to be against a different religion.
But
like to kill somebody in the name of your religion, it's still killing them in the name.
I could literally
got you. And my point is that like if in general your out is that no matter what happens, it's not due to the religion, then it's an out that's going to be passed every single time for every
But if you use the Bible to justify it, like a lot of these KKK, they use the Bible to justify burning the cross.
Use the Bible. That's what I'm saying. So I could be a whole Satanist, start a whole cult of Satanists, and they're all gonna decide, yeah, we're gonna say we Christian. That's my whole thing. People say whatever they want to.
But I guess
this is what I'm saying. You need to watch what people. You got to watch what people do compared to what people say is one thing. What people do is what matters. That's what it comes down to.
So I think it's like it's a simple concept in general where I don't think that any book.
Go ahead. You don't think any book?
You saying something? I ain't.
I was just saying. I'm just debating the little examples. Really, like I understand what you're saying, but go ahead. You don't think any book?
I don't think that any of the major books practice like Islam doesn't teach Bible. It doesn't teach jihadism. It doesn't teach any of that. Muslims that carry it out, they do, and they do it in the name of the religion. Same difference for Hebrews and like the Israelis right now. Same difference for Christians. Like no actual book. And so like if the scapegoat is the fact that the book doesn't say it, then no violence has ever happened and religion has never been the fault of it. Because that would be the scapegoat of like you have an automatic out. Like, but the reality is that people that believe in these religions and all the different sects and the way that they've all been bastardized, to pretend like that doesn't happen and people don't do things in the name of religions, and that's their sole purpose for doing things, would be kind of crazy. But to just say like the word in the book didn't say it, then it's a tap out for literally every single religion, and nothing has ever happened because of religion.
And the thing is, I think that it's both. I agree with what you're saying right there, but there's very much so, and it's like, and then I think it's the idea of going from one extreme to the other again. Like two things can be true at the same time. I do believe that that people kill people in the name of religion, but we can sit there and look at like there's wars that we have gone to, and we may say it's about religion when it's about oil. It's about economic. It's about economy. It's based in money. You can say it's based in religion, but you can sit there and look at it and tell it's based in. But so that's what I'm saying.
So no, hold on, wait, because you send somebody like you send somebody over there to fight. Yes, there's the government sending you over there for oil, but when you go over there, why you go fight them people? Because you think you're
because you in the military, nigga. That's what they pay you.
But what motivates you? Like a jihadist,
Bro,
a jihadist.
I don't know about them, but I was in the military.
Hold on. Oh, let me ask you this. I'm gonna go to the other side. A jihadist. They don't like America because of what we did. Right. When you strap that bomb on and blow yourself up, what makes you do that? It's religion. Religion gives you the balls to do that.
It's revenge.
That's religion. The religion tells you like you're gonna be okay. It's called a jihadist, a martyr.
Well, they make you feel
martyrdom.
I think that's brain control, bro.
But that's religion.
That's
religion. The religion makes you do that.
No, somebody preached to those people and taught them that this is what you're supposed to do.
And
that's not religion.
What book did they use to teach them?
Bro, if they use the Quran and they taught them that if somebody can take something, like, oh my goodness, like anybody can take a book and make something say, hey, yeah, this means this. If you're not getting that, if you're not studying for yourself to show thyself approved, then that's on you. You're a sucker. That's pretty much what it come down to. Then with some suckers, bro. Doggone, if you just sit there listening,
we're like space that we're at. The idea that we're justifying the thought that religion has not divided and killed people over millennia.
I don't think that's not
even what I was saying.
Definitely not what
that's the underlying point of like this entire part right now. So just making sure, like Christian
things to be true at the same time.
Then I'm not talking about you.
You just said it. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
My whole conversation was based off of what Umar was talking about in the video. All I was trying to get an understanding of was how is the system that he's talking about so much better than the religions that he's sitting there adamantly going ham on? How is anything he talking about better?
But the reason why he would say that is because
because people
easy to say. The thing is, the funny thing is, it's easy to pin it that way because we don't know what kind of wars they were fighting back then. It's easy to say it now because we can see what wars we were fighting. We got history and they talk about these things. But I'm pretty sure that those people, the African peoples that were in this whole belief system, they were warring against each other. It's just been a thing. That's a human thing.
Let me ask you this. If these religions, do you think it would be as easy to manipulate us if those religions didn't exist?
You could be manipulated through culture too. We dealing with it now.
Damn sure is.
We suckers for black culture. Everybody's sitting there black this, black that to our detriment. So we falling for culture now. So what we talking?
I think that is kind of the point of the conversation right now is which one would be more beneficial. Somehow we just keep like circling it, but never getting to it. I agree that black culture right now is currently not the best and kind of more or less detrimental, right? If we're looking to uplift the black community, and that's where he was at, and like I said, we keep getting tied into like justifying whatever he was saying about religion or debating that part and not getting to the overall point that I'm trying to lean to, which is the concept of culture or religion. Which one do we believe is going to actually benefit us better as black culture? Again, I lean on the idea that I think that culture probably will if we have like a concise culture, because that's easier to agree on than getting everybody to actually believe the same religion.
Can I answer the question this time? Then I'm gonna stick to the question, and this is my answer. Culture versus religion. I don't think neither one of them is better. I think righteousness is better. Straight up.
Okay.
And what that means, what I mean by that, not even just talking about Christianity, I'm talking about righteousness, morality. We need to check those things. Like
I mean, but
like,
that would kind of
be culture.
That would be culture.
But that would also be religion.
No, it wouldn't.
Those
if
are
you're not
principles that
referencing,
everybody goes by. Like that is across the
it,
board.
it'll
of
only
every
be religion
literal
if you
culture.
base it in religion.
So morals, basically morals lies in culture, is what y'all are saying.
Morality can lie in culture.
You
It's
can
not,
make
it's not mutually exclusive.
You
Like,
could-
we literally had the conversation here
at the same time.
You can make morality your culture if that's what y'all care about. If that's what you value, then that's your culture.
Like it's principles, like simple.
It don't have to
principles
be a
that you-
religion. You don't have to tie morality to anything in the Bible or the Quran or the Torah. It ain't got to come from none of those books. It could just be like, this is right, that's wrong, and we believe in it based on what I have seen in my real life experience, and I see when I do wrong the effects of it. I see when I do good the effects of it, and that's all I'm basing it on. It ain't got nothing to do with no book, and that could be culture. It ain't got to be tied back to a religion, especially when those same religions, the words of those religions can, not saying it's right, but they can be used to manipulate us, and they have been used
But it
to
just ends up
manipulate
being
us.
divisive. And again,
the
like
thing is, I think it goes back to what Katt Williams was saying. At the end of the day, sheep want to be led. We all socially we want to be led. You can sit there. It sounds good to say we just create the culture to where we can just live on. Everybody have a moral compass, and that shit sounds good. That's not. If we can sit there and put that nigga you talking about. Niggas gonna be on Mars.
We ain't seeing it in no culture.
the
That's all I'm
concept
talking
of
about.
all people
getting
believing,
water.
like agreeing on a religion,
Bruh.
sounds like a bigger fantasy to me.
Yeah, I ain't
when
no
has that
sheep.
shit
I don't-
ever
I don't-
happened in this
hold on.
world?
So
that motherfucker a fantasy, dog.
Just I
that
agree
shit
with
ain't
you.
ever
I actually
happened,
agree
and
with
it
you.
ain't gonna happen.
I
Like
100%, I
niggas
100%
get
agree
into like
with you, bro.
chicken
I 100% agree with. I 100% agree with that statement, though. I 100% agree with that statement, and that's why I said righteousness. Like,
and
the
that's
reason-
principles. That's culture.
Okay, so this is the thing, though. What I believe is that what yields righteousness and what ends up making you righteous is not yourself. It's not your self act. It's like belief in Christ. This is what I believe in. Like, by studying the Bible, I found out that righteousness is from belief in Christ. It ain't nothing you can do that equals to that. But what that does in me is it does work righteousness in me because it makes me want to do better. It makes me want to
Gotcha.
check
Can
those
somebody
areas.
be righteous without believing in Christ?
Bro, I don't think somebody can.
Hey, Tone, let me ask you
then
this.
I don't think somebody can.
Hey, hold
I
on,
thought you
hold
was-
on.
you was cooking
Yeah,
with a
yeah,
little
yeah,
grease.
yeah. You was almost there.
Y'all think somebody can be who has been righteous without, like, I don't think anybody can be righteous without Christ.
Yeah, no,
bro.
I think
I don't
it
think
depends on
you could
what
argue
righteous
nobody's
means
been
by
righteous since
definition.
Christ.
But what I believe,
You could argue nobody's been
easier one to
righteous
prove,
since Christ. Like that's the whole thing. But let me ask you this, Tone.
That's right.
Because the Bible, like that's where we get tripped up. Can you learn about Christ without the Bible? Do you have to like? Is there any other way?
You would have to be able to learn about Christ without the Bible if the stories were told and they predate the Bible,
I
which was
think-
told through the African spiritual. What it said down to now, right?
The word of mouth passed down,
Yeah,
like all
and I
that.
mean,
So
but he said it- but it- whatever
so you
that
don't need
book
the
is-
Bible to be
Well, I mean,
to learn
we
about
do
Christ.
because we don't speak Hebrew.
Okay, so I don't want to
Or is
answer
it
that. I don't want
Hebrew?
to sit there and say,
We
yeah,
don't speak-
yeah, that's true, because there are people who have discovered Christ without having read the Bible. So I can't speak for everybody in their experience. I know my relationship, and by my relationship and what other people have told me about their relationship and those things that coincide, like I'm not putting no limit on my God.
I'd say if you discovered Christ without reading the Bible, then that's I can get with that because it's a true understanding.
Okay, so-
It's not nobody else putting it in your head and you're not being manipulated. It's your own like intuition that brought you there. It's your own thoughts.
But
It
I mean,
comes
it's
from
also- I would also think
inside
that
of
your
you.
own thoughts could lead you back to the book
And
to
that's
where
the
you can
whole
further
thing,
your
where you can
knowledge.
further, like,
Because I would think that, like, if you think about anything, like anything that you thought about and went and studied,
book is dangerous.
The inception was the thought of the thing, and then you go to study the thing, and that's how you learn everything about it.
Yeah, but
not only that, is it
And
not
Christ
more?
is
Is it
Jesus,
not
so are you
more?
talking about like knowing God? Or are you talking about like knowing Jesus?
He was talking about Jesus specifically, right? You said
And
Christ.
you can
Because
know
Christ
Christ
is
without
Christ is
ever,
the title, but
ever
yeah.
reading a Bible, ever hearing about any of that. How would you meet or learn?
Jesus is in the Quran.
It would be the same.
No.
way-
So let's just take somebody that hasn't been exposed to any of
to
that.
any,
Like
but yeah. So the thing, what I'm saying is that that's the same thing as if you were talking about Martin Luther King or Huey P. Newton or any other person that ever walked the earth, which we were saying that Jesus walked the earth. There would be no way for you to just start. Oh, something told me that
Well,
a
that's
dude
kind-
named
yeah.
such and
Right,
such.
right,
You know what I
right.
mean? Yeah, that wouldn't be a thing. That's the
And-
same reason why people in other countries that haven't heard of the Bible and all those things that you know what I mean. Like, I don't know, bro. I think this.
But I believe there's
conversation
some
is
righteous
fucking-
people. Well, if you've never heard of Jesus Christ, I believe that you can still be righteous. I believe that you can live.
so.
You can live
Okay,
a
so-
principled life.
so
a
It
moral life.
depends on how you define righteousness. It depends on if the way that,
All right, well-
that Christians define righteousness is based in believing in Christ. That may be one of those precursors.
All right, well,
But
let me take it back. I believe that you can live a principled moral life.
I'd agree.
That's it, yo.
And where do those principles and morals come from?
Your mom, because I love her.
Not like seriously though. Like if,
we kind of like already had this entire
Yeah, we just had it. That's why.
No, I'm saying
like this was a whole episode, but like, and we
Hey,
even
yeah,
you decided
look, yeah,
that morality didn't come from religion.
Hey,
We
Tone,
deal with
Tone, you're gonna have to come to Unpack. We got a new show. Unpack, me and Quint, episode 1 yesterday. Go check it out on the live. This right up the alley for Unpack. This right up the alley.
Nah,
We about to say fuck them. We got all right. Don't worry about it.
I would say it is, bro. But if we really wanted to unpack, then it's gonna have to be doggone actually unpack. Like for me, we would have to get like we're gonna have to look at the Bible. We're gonna have to look at the Quran. We're gonna have to really do it.
We can do it
Because I'm like,
that's what it's for. All
I know is I'm gonna just say it like this. I was sitting there reading this week, and one of the things that was dope to me about the Bible is the Bible tell you about itself. The Bible say, I got receipts, pretty much. That's what it say. It got a whole scripture that I read this week that was just like, test this other book and test this book right here and test everything that you want to test. They ain't got these receipts right here. That's basically what the Bible tell you. Ain't none of these other books and none of these other religions predicted nothing.
Hey, well, you have to bring them. You know, I need to see that receipt book. We'll go through it. We'll
gonna audit?
We'll go through that. All right, we can do that. But hey, I appreciate y'all boys. This was a good one. Before we go, I want to tell everybody, please hit that notification button. You still rocking with us? Hit like, show us some love in the comments. Please follow us at the 2B Fair Show. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. I am your host, Johnny P.
Oh, here, real.
It's Q.
And we out.